fucking Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing. I will be your host for tonight. And we have a lot of things to talk about. Like, what the fuck happened today, man? Tons of breaking news. We're gonna be discussing that with the other panelists and with you guys in the chat. So welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, BDA Boxing. What's up, people in the chat? We have Mustache Kashtash, Parmley, Cachinello gave my fight, Marie Claire, Siri Low, or is this, I never know if it's Siri Low or Kiri Low. The Quacks, of course, always in the chat. I don't know where should we start? Let's talk about Saunders. The fuck's wrong with Saunders? I actually thought that nothing was gonna happen, but it seems like Saunders has been stripped. But Eddie Hearn says that the fight's gonna happen no matter what. I mean, sorry, the show is gonna happen 100%. But I don't even think anybody cares about the undercard. So this is a whole fucking mess. I don't even know what the hell you call that thing that Saunders took. The oxylorphin. Apparently it improves your stamina. And Victor Conti in an interview said that some of the side effects of whatever he took is that you kind of go crazy. And that seems to be what's happening to Billy Joe Saunders. He's fucking nut. He's a nut job. He's throwing chicken and shit at Wilder. What else did he do? There's something else he did that was pretty crazy. Could be due to that substance he's been taking. Cyril Law says that Saunders was doing crack, bro. Let's keep it real. Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He was doing something for sure. But anyways, I think they said that even if Saunders loses the WBO and the fight takes place, Andrade would still be fighting for the WBO belt if he wins. So, anyways, this just sucks. Fucking sucks. One Love says, yeah, he's a nutter. Always has been. Yeah, maybe he's always been taking that crap. Who the hell knows? By the way, it's fucking hot here in Canada today. It's like an exceptional day. Fucking sucks. I can't put the AC or anything because I took it down and... yeah, and then it makes noise and stuff. So anyways, man, I'm gonna have to survive. ALL Boxing says, this is the reason why AJ is scared to come to the USA and face Wilder. Hey, that's a good point, huh? That's a good point. Hey, he's taking that oxylo whatever. Graham in the chat says, who's he fighting now? Listen, let's put up the article. I have it here. I was on Boxing Scene. I was checking it out. Actually, I have another article from the Sun newspaper. Wait, hold on. All right. Billy Blow. My God, I love the Sun newspaper. It's just fucking... what's the word? They're the word escapes me. They're full of shit. Full of scandal. Anyways, Billy Joe Saunders denied license and said to be stripped of WBO middleweight title. The pair were supposed to meet in the ring on October the 20th, but that now looks to be off, with Saunders unlikely to retain his belt. Andrade's promoter Eddie Hearn previously said Billy Joe will apply for a license in Massachusetts and they will make the decision if he is allowed to box. The most important thing is that Demetrius Andrade fights the world title on October 20th. Okay, wait a minute. If Billy Joe Saunders is ruled out and stripped of the title, we'll be looking to make a fight for the vacant world title. Okay, so he wouldn't be involved. And this is from when? Today. So anyways, man, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know, I don't have any inside information. I'm just reading off the news articles like you guys. So if somebody else has any up-to-date news, breaking news, you can let me know. So far, I mean, we know that Billy Joe has been stripped of the WBO belt. Billy is with Warren. Yeah, and what the hell is Eddie Hearn doing then? Like he's with Andrade, right? Because the thing is on the zone, the fight's gonna be taking place there. Graham Lanson says Hearn has already signed at number 2. Nicola Ferrari says karma for Billy Joe Saunders, dogged Triple G for years, tried to keep that belt at all cost, hoping for a huge payday. Oops. That's a good point. Well, actually, I think he was gonna fight Golovkin in Kazakhstan in 2017, during the summer or something. But De La Hoya told Golovkin that if he wanted that Canelo fight for September, that he wasn't allowed to take an intern fight. Basically, he couldn't fight Billy Joe Saunders before Canelo. So Billy Joe Saunders was willing to fight Golovkin in that instance. Allegedly. I mean, who the fuck knows, right? James Erickson says, talk about Inoue's performance. We did on the last show. There's not much to say. I mean, he knocked out his opponent pretty quickly. So, Brandon Whyte, what's up? Good evening, Bucho and chat. The Shepherd's Son says, good evening, Mr. Whyte. Everybody's greeting themselves. Waiting still for some people to join. Cameron is the one that really wanted to do the show. Cameron and Boxing Styles had a little chat on our Hangouts. And I think they're going to be coming later today. Well, Cameron for sure should be coming. Boxing Style, I don't know. I think so. Boxing Style is eager to, you know, how should I say this? Well, basically counterattack, because he was attacked by Stu and Cameron and everybody else. And so he was only in the chat in the last episode. He wasn't in the Hangouts. So I want to see Boxing Style come in the Hangouts and, you know, tell us his side of the story. Throw some punches as well, basically. Graham Lanson says, Stu rants were class the other day. Yeah, they were fucking funny, man. He wanted to take one. The first video that I posted that he sent me, he wanted to take it down, and I told him, like, listen, guy, don't. This is pure gold. Leave it. Well, maybe I didn't tell him it was pure gold. I just told him, nah, look, do another video, man. Don't feel bad about what you said, you know. Oh, it's Stu might not be able to join us today. He's busy, basically. I'll just leave it at that. So hopefully he will show up. Hopefully we have Boxing Style, Cameron, and Stu, because they were all going at it. All right, hold on. Just checking my Hangouts. All right. Nicola Ferrari says, so Andrade is gifted a WBO versus a replacement now? Yep, apparently. It sucks now. Remember when Golovkin was one belt away from having all 4 belts? Now he lost the belts to Canelo. Before losing the belts to Canelo, he lost the IBF, which is now vacant and is going to be contested by Danny Jacobs and Derevyanchenko. So the winner of that fight has the IBF. Now the WBO is in limbo. If Andrade wins against whoever, he's going to win the WBO. So now you're going to have Andrade, the WBO champion, Jacobs or Derevyanchenko as the IBF champion. And you have Canelo as a WBA, WBC champion. How fucked up is that, man? Oh, the Shepherd of Sun says, from the news I just saw, he's not getting stripped. Okay, so what? So, alright. I'll have to read more about this. I'm on Boxing Scene right now, and Billy Joe Saunders denied a license. Can't fight Andrade. The Massachusetts... I'm gonna put it on the screen, guys. Billy Joe Saunders denied a license. Can't fight Andrade. This is from Boxing Scene. The Massachusetts State Athletic Commission voted to Tuesday to deny Billy Joe Saunders' application for a license to defend his WBO middleweight title against Demetrius Andrade on October the 20th in Boston. Licensing Saunders became an unusual issue late in September when the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association informed representatives for Saunders and Andrade that Saunders tested positive for whatever that shit is in August 30th, blah, blah, blah. You're right. I don't see anything about the WBO. If the WBO subsequently, Jesus Christ. If the WBO subsequently strips Saunders of its middleweight title, Andrade is expected to fight. Here we go. This is somebody in the chat was asking who he would fight. He would be fighting Nambia's Walter Cautodono. I'm butchering his name, but some guy from Nambia, 17-0 with 16 KOs for the vacant WBC. Sorry, for the vacant 160-pound crown. Okay, whatever. Anyways. Alright. So, yeah, that's the story. If he is stripped, Andrade will be fighting Walter from Nambia. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And there was another article here from where you have a quote from Eddie Hearn saying that, oh no, we have a great card. We have that Irish girl there. What's her name? I don't know. Nobody cares. They don't have a great card. Well, this is disappointing. Very disappointing. The Quack is asking, who the fuck is that? I don't know who that guy is. 17-0, 16 KOs. Looks like a good record, but hey, this is boxing. You can easily. I don't know what the fuck happened. I think something got unplugged. Anyways. Wow, I don't know. Nobody's showing up to the Hangouts. This is crazy. Especially Cameron, who was asking me for a show. I don't know where he is. And I tried to do this show early so all the UK contributors can join the show and not complain that it's late. Because over here it's like 6 p.m. So, anyways. Wait a minute. There we go. All right. So, we also have news that Dylan Whyte might fight Luis Ortiz December the 22nd. So, apparently Ortiz was gonna fight in the undercard of Tyson Fury against Wilder. But Ortiz said that if he manages to fight or come to an agreement with Dylan Whyte, then Ortiz is willing to fight on December the 22nd. So hopefully we get that fight done. Who do you guys have, Ortiz or Whyte? I have Dylan Whyte over Luis Ortiz, man. Yeah, I don't listen. Ortiz is slow as fuck, and the only reason why he managed to catch Wilder is because Wilder's wide open. I don't think Dylan White's gonna make that type of mistake, man. We never know. If Ortiz lands on Whyte, then yeah, Ortiz might take him out of there, but I don't know. I see Dylan White throwing way more punches in the first few rounds than Wilder did against Ortiz. I mean, Wilder just froze. Both fighters weren't doing shit, Wilder and Ortiz. But I mean, Wilder's supposed to be the young guy, the faster guy, the guy with the longer reach. He wasn't throwing anything for like 4 rounds. I want to see Dylan White just increase the pace against Ortiz, make that 50-year-old guy get tired, that 50-year-old guy with heart problems tire, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe Dylan White can stop him late. It's an interesting fight. I mean, what the hell does Ortiz have in that fight? I mean, besides the power, he's extremely slow. Extremely slow. God damn it, he was slow against Wilder. So slow, man. He was inches away from knocking out Wilder, but he was just so fucking slow. Wilder could see those punches coming. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Alright. The chat, Champ Process. Rascal, what's up? I see he's in the chat. Nino Gagi. Oh, Johnson says, I got Gramps. Ortiz don't gotta use to what? I got Gramps. Ortiz. Ortiz don't gotta use his to get to Whyte. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Whyte is gonna be coming forward, but I can see him getting hit. He's very stationary, flat-footed. It's not like he moves his head a lot. Just leans to the right. It's pretty, no, basic stuff. Brandon White says Ortiz would throw Whyte off as a southpaw. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think that's enough. Inogagi says, I got holes in a different area codes. Alright, hold on. Virtuoso sent me an image. He wants me to show it to you guys. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Anyways, man, it's not like we were... who was really excited for Saunders and Andre, to be honest? It was just a fight. I don't really care. Andre, in my opinion, it's not a big deal. Alright. Here is Billy Joe Saunders looking for his WBO belt. That's the same idea I had, man. That's why if you look at the YouTube thumbnail, that's what I did. Oh, man. And what the hell? Didn't Billy Joe Saunders know what substances he wasn't allowed to take? Oh, but it's legal in the UK if you take it the day of the fight. If you stop taking it the day of the fight. Yeah, but in the UK. You're fighting in the United States now. I don't know. It just, to me, seems weird that they didn't know. German Persian says nobody cares about Saunders, even less people about Andre. Exactly. I mean, we care about Billy Joe if he finally fights Canelo or Golovkin, or maybe Charlo or Jacobs. But we have seen what Saunders brings to the table against, well, the type of opposition that he has faced. Andre, yeah, sure, he's undefeated, but man, I don't think he's on the level of that Danny Jacobs, Golovkin, or Canelo for sure, not. And maybe even Charlo. So it's not like I was excited to see Billy Joe Saunders fight Andre. I mean, the fight was probably gonna be a stinker. Do you guys remember Billy Joe Saunders against, what's his name? Billy. I always call him Billy Monroe. Willie Monroe Jr. God damn it, that fight was garbage. Like complete garbage. She was boring as hell. That's Billy Joe Saunders for you guys. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't excited for this fight. ALL Boxing says, I got footage of Petvetkin boxing bare knuckles in the 40s. Okay. Send me a link. James Walker says, answer me this. Could you see Whyte giving it to Wilder like Ortiz did that night? He outboxed Wilder, then almost had him out if... Okay, wait, hold on. What happened during the first 4 rounds of Wilder against Ortiz? Absolutely nothing. Nothing, man. And of course Wilder was supposed to, at some point in the fucking fight, outbox the shorter guy, the older guy, the flat-footed guy. And Wilder got hurt first. Oh, wait, hold on. Trap Media says, get that trap intro. Yeah, eventually, man. It takes time to create these introductions. You have to find the proper audio, something you say that's interesting, and then... Anyways, it takes a while. And you have to earn your introduction. That's for sure. Did I send you a link, Trap? Anyways, about Wilder Ortiz. I mean, come on. Wilder was struggling against Ortiz, man. And yeah, of course, then that right hand landed like always. It saved the day for Wilder. But I lost your comment. I was gonna finish reading it. Anyways, as he says, Ortiz is Foreman grandpa. He is, man. He's not 39 as they claim. He's probably in his late 40s. Alpol Boxing, welcome. He says, every time Wilder touched Ortiz, the old man got shook. Sign of a shot fighter. Most likely. And I mean, again, that guy's big ass fucking head. He's not even moving his head, not at all. Flat-footed, waiting for a counter shot. But he's so old that it was going to be very difficult for Ortiz to catch Wilder with a counterpunch. Because he's so old. His timing was way off. Eventually he got in a shot, but how long did it fucking take? And it's not like it's so difficult to get in a shot against Wilder when Wilder's coming in all wild and shit. And crazy. Crazy, man. That's why I'm thinking, listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury knocks down Wilder. Not because he actually really hurts him, but because Wilder's coming in, he's off balance, and hey, that's a knockdown. You get an extra point. So, listen, I'm not impressed with Ortiz at all. I don't know what the hell Ortiz has done. He had that HBO debut where he impressed everyone, but that was 3 years before the Wilder fight, and since then he didn't do anything. So listen, let's watch Ortiz fight Dylan Whyte, and then we'll assess how good he actually is or was. But for now, we only have. What's our basis for determining how good Ortiz is? That the Wilder fight? Like he hurt Wilder? Ah, come on. Or that HBO debut like 2015, 2015? Come on. Because he's Cuban. That's the thing. He's a Cuban boxer. Like that guy didn't win a gold medal or anything. He was on a rig on Dow. He's Cuban, the Cuban boxing style. Oh my god. He escaped Cuba. He was such a gem. He's a gem for boxing. Get out of here. The guy is like fucking 50. That's a lot of power. Don't get me wrong. He lands a shot on Dylan Whyte, a good shot in his lights out. But let's not start saying that Ortiz is some sort of monster, man. Come on. The guy's old. And he looked old. It's not like a Klitschko who, God knows how the fuck he was in shape. Probably taking PEDs, I don't know. Klitschko who was in his, 40, 41, still in great shape. Long arms. Luis Ortiz, he looked like a guy that's old. And I'm not even talking 39. He looked like he was in his late 40s. Boxing Killers TV says Ortiz was in training camp with Frank Bruno. Oh yeah, that's gonna help. Quincy Pinola says Klitschko and Ortiz are the same age. Yeah. Actually, Klitschko is a little bit older. And he was a little bit older when he fought Anthony Joshua. I think he was 41. And they claim that Ortiz is 39. I don't believe that. Quincy Pinola says Foreman was old and still was relevant. Yes, he was. Different era though. Abstract, are you there?
I'm here, man. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yep. Oh, we also have Trap Media. Are you there, man?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up? Nothing. I'm just talking shit about Luis Ortiz. I'm pretty sure you disagree.
What's up with all the Ortiz hate, man? That's what I don't understand. Ortiz is a solid heavyweight. I don't care how old he is. You can send any of them young boys out there. They're going to have an issue with him. Solid fundamentals. He could put anybody down on any given day. If him and Wilder ran it back, it's still a toss-up. If him and AJ runs it, it's a toss-up. If him and Big Baby runs it, it's a toss-up. I got a lot of respect for Ortiz. I don't understand all the Ortiz slander that's going on right now.
Well, I'd like to see Ortiz fight somebody else besides Wilder and see how well he does.
I would too, but most of these guys, they don't want that fight. We know that. We heard Dillian say he doesn't want the fight. He blocked me for constantly mentioning the fight. I got blocked for that. And Big Baby said he doesn't want that fight right now. So, and we seen when AJ and Hearn had Ortiz, you know, they didn't make the fight happen. So Ortiz is just not a guy that people want right now. It's the same situation with Charlos. Maybe it's not necessarily that these guys are scared, but it's too high risk with not enough reward behind it. So if people can avoid them, let them continue to age and kind of phase out, I think that's what they'll do. If there's a lot of pressure from the fans, maybe we can push for that fight to happen. But I mean, I doubt we really get to see Ortiz against another top heavyweight because the risk is just too much. And I think we spoke about it yesterday. These guys are trying to make the best business moves. We're in a new era of boxing, a new era of sports. When you're dealing with this type of money post Mayweather, everybody is trying to set themselves up for the big payday. So we're not gonna see Ortiz against too many other top guys.
Well, apparently Ortiz accepted Dylan Whyte's offer to fight on December the 22nd in the UK.
Yeah, so I seen that, but the goalposts will be moved again. You know, it'll be another excuse. It'll be next thing he wants too much money because he won't take 10% or something like that. It's gonna constantly be an excuse. He's just too much of a risk when Dillian Whyte could just wait it out. Maybe get a Big Baby fight, or maybe still just get that fight in Wembley. He just doesn't need Ortiz to step his brand up to the next level at this point, and Big Baby doesn't need Ortiz, and those would be the two guys that you would have to see him line it up with at this point. And I don't know if Povetkin's done, but I don't think he's in line for that. Maybe he steps out for a little bit, but I just don't see who can Big Baby get. I mean, who can Ortiz get to kind of see where he measures up in the division outside of a Wilder and AJ. I mean, who else would you want to see him against?
You want to say something, Boxing Style, regarding Luis Ortiz and He's the boogeyman now. I see Boxing Style is not there. Listen, Trap. If Dylan Whyte doesn't fight Ortiz, but fights Baby Miller, would you be satisfied with that?
Yeah, I want to see that. I mean, as a boxing fan, a fan of the sport, I think all of those guys should fight eventually. Like, say, even the winner, the loser of the Big Baby Dillian Whyte fight, they fight Ortiz, and then Ortiz maybe gets the winner of that, and then the winner of that gets a champion, or somehow in that circle. I think that still works out, and that's good for the heavyweight division. It helps take it to the next level. I think we need fights like that. I mean, I think you would agree to that. Like, all of those guys fighting is good for the sport, right? Yeah. So if I had to pick next what I want to see, I think everybody's hungry for that Big Baby Miller Dillian Whyte. I think it's so close that everybody wants to see it. It would show both of them are young enough. Both of them are hitting that hot streak, and I think it's just about time for those two to collide. So everybody in the chat right now, go to Dillian Whyte's Instagram and drop the baby bottles. We got to push for this fight to happen, because I think there was a poll on Instagram going on. Big Baby was the fight that people wanted to see Dillian Whyte fight. We seen with the AJ poll, he got like 6% of the vote. So that's not the fight that the people want right now. Let Big Baby run it with Dillian Whyte, and the winner either fights Ortiz or the winner fights, one of the champions. But that's where I think we are right now with that.
Cameron Gillen in the chat says, I log on and Trap is talking about Baby Miller. I am not coming on this show anymore.
Butcher, did you mean me when you were saying, I think you said, I can't remember whose name you said, but it was only 3 of us on there. Like,
I said Abstract.
Nah, you didn't. You said boxing style. That's why I stayed quiet. You went boxing styles. I was like,
yeah, he was talking about you. But I mean, what do you think about that trio? Which fight would you want first, Abstract? Between, would you want Ortiz fighting one of those guys, or would you want those two guys to run it first, and then a loser maybe fight Ortiz?
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I kind of think Ortiz is done. I mean, like, the last time I really saw Ortiz look decent was Jennings. Like, even in the Tony Thompson fight, he didn't look. I know he stopped him about round 6, but for the earlier round, he didn't look great. Then,
did you see Malik Scott?
Malik Scott, he didn't look good. I mean, the last fight was Razvan Kajanu, and I mean, like, to be fair, that's like an opponent you fight early in your career and knock out and don't mean much for my money. And I mean, I would like to see Big Baby versus Dylan Whyte. I mean, I just think with Ortiz now, I think pretty much all you've really got to do is kind of like keep him at bay for a few rounds, and he's just going to run out of gas. Like, I think he's done, man. I don't. The thing is, Wilder, in all his interviews, he's like, yeah, I just beat the number 2 and then I'm going to fight the number 3 and blah, blah, blah. And he's fucking bigging Ortiz up as, like, I know Ortiz was ducked and stuff, but he weren't the boogeyman to the extent that Wilder's trying to make him out to be. People were willing to fight him, like, at the end of the day. And now I just think he's old. I agree with Butcher. I think he's hella old. I think he's way older than he's listed as. So for me, and the more time that goes on, obviously, just like the rest of the world, is getting even older. So, like, I'm not really too interested in any equations with Luis Ortiz anymore, to be completely honest. Because even if he comes out and gets an early knockout over somebody, I don't know that tells us much about him anyway. Like, other than he's. Oh, sorry.
I just don't think nobody at this level in the heavyweight division is really that. I mean, outside of Wilder has that A+ power. He can put anybody down with a shot, from behind his head. He could tap you on the head and knock you out. But outside of that, it's just nobody who I would say this head and shoulders better than Ortiz. Now, prime Tyson Fury, I would say that he was head and shoulders better than everybody. But
yeah,
at this point, I think it's pretty close with everyone. Like everybody on any given night can lose, all of these guys. Now, if we still had prime Fury, I think he can run through everybody, and he's head and shoulders above everybody else. You could clearly see a difference. But I think at this point, it's so close that Ortiz is in the running, and we have to respect his skill. I mean, the skill is there. You can say he's old, all that. He still has skill and he still has power. And because none of these guys have really separated themselves, we still have to give him a chance. I think
the thing with Ortiz though is like he can only really. I mean, he's a little bit one-dimensional. If you look at the Malik Scott fight, like Malik Scott moved a lot. And I mean, Malik Scott, I thought a disgusting fight. It was like really fucking negative and stuff. But Luis Ortiz, like, he was just chasing him around like a puppy, like he had a biscuit for him or something for the whole night. He wasn't cutting the ring off. He needs you to come to him.
And for the most part,
and he even now, I think at this point, I think he'd even struggle to chase somebody around for 12 rounds. I think anybody with like a little bit of pop, like after a certain amount of time, are just gonna be able to sort of like do what Wilder did. And because if you look at the finish in the Wilder fight, Wilder wasn't really. I mean, at the point he actually finished him, a lot of those punches were being blocked, but Ortiz was just already so fucked and so done. That he couldn't stay on his feet. So I mean, I don't know. I think the heavyweight division's weird at the minute because, like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think like the Fury from like Chisora 2, Christian Hamer, that Fury. I'm pretty sure none of these guys would get near. Of course, somebody like Wilder or Joshua, if they land something, then it's game over. But like he was just like so much better than any of them. I personally think probably at the minute, the way things stand, Joshua's probably the best in the division. Like I think like he's more proven. I think he's got better fundamentals. If you look at him and Wilder as 1 and 2, I think he's got much better fundamentals than Wilder. In all honesty, Wilder has only really got like bit of speed and athleticism and that right hand. That's really all he's got as far as in a toolbox. Like,
all right, hold on. Let me introduce Cameron here.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
All right, Cameron, how pissed are you from 1 to 10? Because we're talking about Baby Miller. Well, we actually talked a bit.
No, I'm not pissed at all, man. I mean,
you sound pissed off.
My opinion is, all I'm saying is literally the first. I was on another podcast before I came on, and I went onto the YouTube stream. The first thing I hear was Trap say Baby Miller, and I thought, here we go again. So that's what I'm saying.
He's a top guy. We have to talk about him.
But no, man, he just fought Adamek. That was like a week ago now. Time to talk about some new things.
Going back to Luis Ortiz, what's your take on Luis Ortiz now that he has fought Wilder and he got stopped? Do you see him as very old, as a contender? Is he a boogeyman? Is he a boogeyman? Give us your take.
Or does he at least deserve a shot? That's what I'm saying. Does he, after that fight, after that performance, does he at least deserve a shot with one of these other top heavyweights?
Well, he had a shot. I mean,
this is what I think of it. This is what I think of it. This is what I think of it, right? He's no different to what he was before the fight. He's a top contender who is highly regarded as a top contender, right? He's not a boogeyman because Wilder fought him. So he's no longer a boogeyman. He got a title shot. And, I'll say this, right? This is my take on fighters who get title shots. If you get a title shot, voluntary, right? Because, Wilder didn't have to give Ortiz that shot. He gave Ortiz the shot. Ortiz wasn't mandatory. If you're given a title shot out of voluntary, it doesn't matter how close the fight is. If you don't win the fight, you don't deserve another shot. You got given a shot, you didn't take it at both hands. That's my opinion. So for me, he has to fight somebody to get a title shot. And again, that's my view on
No,
that.
no, that's what I'm saying. Does he
agree.
does he deserve a shot with the Whyte? Does he deserve a shot with the Big Baby Mill? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because he's still a top. You know, he looked good in the Wilder fight, but looking good isn't winning. So the fact is, he lost a shot that he was given. He had an opportunity. He was given an opportunity. He didn't take it. So now he's got to fight another top-ranked contender. And if he beats one of them, then yeah, put him in there with Wilder or Joshua or something like that. But until that, no.
Yeah, my thing for the heavyweight division, there's no clear best. It just the style makes the fight. Like I said, if Wilder and Ortiz run it again, I wouldn't be surprised if Ortiz won. Now against Wilder and AJ, I have Wilder, but against Big Baby Wilder, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Big Baby won. Like it's like all of these guys could beat each other depending on who matches up with who, because the styles are so different and nobody is just fluent like that young Tyson Fury. It's just no guy. Now, if Usyk moves up, he makes it interesting. Now, I think he's a bad matchup for Ortiz because he has the footwork, but none of these other guys really has that footwork to give Ortiz. You know, like you said, he had to chase. He's not going to have to chase any of these other guys. They're coming to you. AJ's a robot. You know, it's not like Wilder has the best footwork. He just has the unorthodox stuff. Dillian White's going to come to you. He doesn't have the best footwork. So unless Usyk moves up, that's the bad matchup I see for Ortiz. But like I said, he could beat Wilder. I got Wilder beating the AJ, but then I got AJ beat AJ. I would probably favor AJ over a Big Baby because he has that size too. So it's all a toss up. All of these guys are close to each other, and none of them are really. It's not fluent like that young Fury. That's all I can say. And I think if Usyk moves up, he makes everything interesting.
Who do you have potentially beating Deontay Wilder?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if Big Baby. I wouldn't be surprised if because he's 100 pounds heavier. He can lean on, if he can take that power, he can lean on the whole fight and keep it close.
A lot's going to depend on Miller's chin. We need to see Miller's chin properly tested. If he's got a really good chin, then he could be a problem. I mean, he's slow and he seems to be only getting bigger, which does. I mean, if I was a huge Miller fan, that'd worry me. Like the 317-pound shit, that'd worry me because he looked like. I mean, from behind, he looked like butterbean, like a black butterbean in the fucking ring the other night, like. And Adamek, old ass Adamek in that first round was like, he was doing not too bad of a job, like sticking and moving and stuff. And Miller just looked like, I don't know, he looked like, what was it, Mike Myers, the Halloween movies, you know, where he never moves too quickly and he just slowly turns and follows up.
But abstract,
that's what he looked like. I mean,
abstract. The only other guy that could really move like that, you know, that's at the elite level that may move up is a Usyk. All the other guys don't have footwork like Adamek. No,
Usyk, I mean, at least somebody like a Joshua, like, don't have that footwork, but he's at least quick enough to get out of the way.
But Joshua moves in a straight line.
I think, but I think Big Baby is so slow that I think he could quite easily sort of run out of gas pretty quickly against somebody that's. Look, he's not run out of gas against people that weren't really throwing much back. I think when you're having to think about both, say again.
I said exactly. I'll agree with what you're saying, man. Like we've not seen Miller. People say he's got good cardio in that, but what is he going to have good cardio when he's forced on the back foot? Is he going to have good cardio when he's forced to be defensive and he's had to move a bit? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Cardio's all well and good when you're fighting somebody like, I don't know, like a Gerald Washington. In all honesty, got one little taste of a little bit of power off of Miller and fought scared. I think he's been looking like a scared fighter, Washington, even in the Wilder fight. And everybody else took him any rap.
He did great in that Wilder fight. I had him beating Wilder. That's when I was a Wilder hater. I had him beating Wilder every round till he got knocked out.
Yeah, so did I, until he got caught, and then he just went into a shell. That's what I mean. Like,
all right, hold on, guys. We have to. Now that we have more people in the Hangouts, let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders incident. Who wants to start? Give us your take on the whole situation. Billy Joe Saunders might lose his WBO belt.
I was upset because y'all know I was real high on Billy Joe Saunders, so I'm not for any boxers who's cheating to win. I respect Victor Conte and his opinion on the saying it was 10 times stronger, and for Billy Joe to be talking about Canelo the way he was, I mean, it makes it a little bit worse. But I think we, as boxing fans, we getting cheated out of great. I think it could have been a very good fight, a very technical fight if you appreciate the art of boxing. And I'm disappointed. I hope Billy Joe can get himself together. Whatever he's going through, he can get off the drugs and get back in, and maybe we see him compete at the high level again. I hope he doesn't disappear after this.
Official boxing scorecard. Let me just introduce official boxing scorecard because I forgot to introduce him. You there? Official?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Go ahead. Just, you want to say something before Cameron goes on?
I wanted to talk about to trap about Joshua and.
We'll do it later.
Before we change the subject.
Yeah, no, let's stay with the topic with Saunders. Cameron, go ahead.
No problem, man. Well,
you go ahead.
Right now I agree with Trap. I mean, I was high too on Billy Joe Saunders, and he was looking pretty good against Lemieux. Yeah, of course, he's not the cream of the crop, but I expected to see more of that Billy Joe Saunders. So yeah, we boxing fans are the one losing this. So yeah, but at the same time, I don't like the cheaters. So he got what he deserved.
Well, I just want to say, right. I just want to say, look, I think Saunders is a good fighter, right? But I've said this before. What high level has Saunders competed at, right? Let's look at it like this, because he's not fought anyone elite. Yeah, he's had a belt, but he's fought nobody really. I mean, look, David Lemieux. I mean, look, he punches hard, but that's all he can do. Eubank. He was. This was years ago. This is 4 years ago now. This is when Eubank was British level, and he fought Andy Lee. Andy Lee's a good opponent, but Saunders hasn't beaten an elite opponent. Like, he's not fought anybody at the top of the division. So I don't get when people say Saunders needs to get. Hopefully we can see him back at top. At the highest level. What's the highest level? The highest level is Gennady Golovkin, Charlo, Jacobs. He's not fought any of these guys.
Well, I mean, hold on. I kind of agree with most of what you said, but I think you should probably leave Charlo out of that when you're saying it, because Charlo hasn't proved himself at middleweight.
I said it just so I don't get hate from the.
Yeah, man. Like, man. Yeah, I mean,
I know if I didn't say Charlo, people would be in chat saying, "Oh, what Charlo."
I mean, I like Saunders. I think Saunders is really good. I mean, Andy Lee's a good win. I mean, I guess Willie Monroe's a decent win. But you make a good point, Cameron. He ain't fought no one elite.
He's not been at the highest level. That's my point. Not the highest level.
Yeah, but we were getting to that point. That's what I'm saying. And him being the champion and defending his titles against some solid opponents, looking very good. And the last time we seen him out there, we were getting to that point going against Andrade. Then it was going to be eventually we were going to get all of these guys circling each other, and it was going to be, big matchups in the middleweight division. But now we got to watch Andrade fight who? You know what I mean?
Walter.
Yeah, like nobody wants to see that. Like, I mean, they gave Canelo a pass. I hope at some point Billy Joe gets a pass, because I think he is still skilled. Maybe he is, he's doping a little bit. But if you set the precedent, if we're gonna be hard on these guys when they use drugs or not, you can't just do it when a guy's a cash cow. So, I mean, give Billy Joe a chance. Let him clean himself up 6 months later, and give him that shot with Andrade, and then hopefully he can mix it up with a Canelo, Jacobs, Charlo, or Derevyanchenko.
Can I start? Go on,
sorry, man. Okay, thank you. So another thing I wanted to add about Billy Joe is that, yeah, you're right, Cameron. You cannot say that he's like in top 2 or 3 middleweights because of his resume, but I think we can surely agree he is top 5, top 6, and plus it's kind of like when we are making our pound for pound lists. There are some guys looking great against opponents, but you're basically looking for 2 things: guys that are looking great against the guys they should be looking great, and then on top of that you're comparing their resumes. So yeah, that's the reason for me why I'll always put Lomachenko and Usyk on top of Crawford on my pound for pound list for now, at least. But it does.
I mean, Saunders is top 5. Saunders, you can't. I mean, he's definitely top 5 at middleweight. I mean, I think it's hard to argue that other than Golovkin and Canelo, really maybe Jacobs you could argue is above him. But who else could you really argue that is above him? He's a world champion, and none of the other guys at middleweight have really got sort of like top wins. Certainly Andrade ain't got a top win. Charlo ain't got a top win at middleweight. Do you know what I mean?
That's the issue I've got.
He's definitely at the top. He's definitely at the top, especially as far as skill. You know, that footwork, hand speed.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on.
The issue I've got in middleweight division is Canelo and Golovkin, obviously Canelo's moving up now, but those two are stand above the rest in terms of, you know, who they've beat and stuff. But then you've kind of got, you know, you kind of got a bit of a mixed and open division. Like you've got Saunders, Jacobs, Charlo, Andrade. You've got 4 or 5 guys there that are just kind of floating around. They've not really got any signature win at 160, so it's kind of hard to place them in order. You can have Canelo, Golovkin, and then you've kind of got a kind of an open division when it comes to the next sort of top fill-in. So for me, that's why these guys should have fought. That's why I'm disappointed that the Saunders Andrade fight hasn't happened, because I think the winner of that fight probably would have taken that 3rd spot for me. So
yeah, I agree. You've got Derevyanchenko coming up as well, who I think looks like a problem. But I kind of agree with what Trap said at the start. Like the thing is, like Saunders, anybody that pops Saunders is always in the fucking Phelps interviews or the IFL interviews, like ripping them, like proper giving it some. So like he has to get stripped, and he has to get at least a 6-month ban for me, because like everybody has to be treated the same. Either everybody can use PEDs or no one can, like, you know.
Fully agree.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the thing there. You've got Murat is there as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid division. Middleweight's a solid division. It's just the guys. They're just, you know, they're not fighting. Like, I mean, that's what Derevyanchenko, Jacobs. Do we know if that's going to be top 3 now? But then again, Canelo's moved up. So then again, if Canelo moves up, is Golovkin number 1 again? I would say so. So, you know, we're just going to got to see how the division plays out, because there's a lot of good contenders in that division, but there's no real standout. It's kind of like heavyweight for me. You know, you've kind of got Bivol, Turbiev, Stevenson, Alvarez. These guys need to fight so we get a standout. In the middleweight division, we've not really got a standout outside of Golovkin now. So this is what these guys need to fight and just kind of, you know, see where everybody's at and who's coming up, who's legit, who isn't, who's legit champions, who's just contenders, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more people ready to move up. I mean, you've got to imagine what's his name, the fucking blonde curly hair, fought recently down in the next division down. I'm fucking hell.
Blonde curly hair.
Yeah, oh man, hold on 1 second.
Blonde curly hair.
You're gonna know he's a mixed race guy, but he dyes his hair blonde. Fuck.
Oh no, Jarrett Hurd.
Jarrett Hurd.
My God.
Sorry, like I've got a little fucking bit of memory issues and stuff like. Yeah,
what were you talking about? A white guy?
No, that's why I said mixed race guy, because I realised that blonde there. It looks like sounds like I'm talking about. Yeah. No, I mean he's massive, so like he's probably gonna move up soon. Like, so I think that there's a few people like probably be moving up in the next couple of years, I reckon, and that's probably when the middleweight division will get a little bit more sort of like interesting, because some of them are absolute fucking. I mean, Munguia, Hurd, they're both beasts. I mean, they're huge. You know, so those guys are going to be moving up soon.
Yeah, and another problem with middleweights, other than Golovkin and Canelo, is instead of fighting each other to, like Cameron said, in order to get that third spot, that recognition, they are just waiting for Canelo or whatever the cash cow is. In this case, is Canelo. So they're just waiting and not risking their fight against him. So that's bad.
Well, I mean, Canelo's cherry-picked Rocky Fielding now, so there's no point in waiting right now, is there? They may as well do something with their time. I don't like it either when fighters like, oh, what's Canelo gonna do? Even Triple G, and I'm a Triple G fan. It's like, oh man, like just sit around and wait for the fucker to fucking come off his ban or make up his mind or whatever. It's a fucking joke, man.
Are you guys excited about Amir Khan against Kell Brook possibly taking place now?
What is it? Nearly done?
No, well, Khan came out today and said that the fight is negotiations are actually happening now. But the thing is, Brook's agreed to 147, but Amir Khan's getting a £10 rehydration clause. So basically, Brook can't weigh more than 157 on fight day, which is ridiculous. I think I said on Twitter earlier on, I was like, over the years, like this fight is at least 3.5 years overdue. This fight should have happened when Khan was come off that Alexander win and Brook was champion. It's 3 years overdue now, and more or less that it's nothing but a cash grab fight. Before it was a cash grab fight, but there was a lot of relevance in terms of where they were in their careers. Neither of them were coming off knockout losses, and they've kind of dipped a bit. And I feel like at this point, we're all going to watch the fight, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm excited about the prospect of the fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'll get other people's opinion.
Khan's trying to wayside him, isn't he, with the whole weight thing? I mean, first it was just got to happen at 147, knowing that Brook had already been up at 160 and was going to really fucking struggle to get down. Now it's a rehydration clause. And I've said this for years, yeah. Khan's never wanted any parts of fucking Brook. You've only got to look at, like, how he's been over the years, like even like back in the day, fight this person and then I'll fight her, win a world title and then I'll fight. I mean, he puts that many fucking hurdles down. I'm surprised he's like, it's as if he's setting up a fucking 100 meters hurdle. Like he puts that many fucking down. Like, Khan don't want none of it, and I don't think it will happen. I think Khan will find a way not to fight him, because the thing is, Khan, like. People will say like, oh, well, he fought Canelo. Surely you can't be scared of Brook. But like, he was expected to get knocked out against Canelo. I mean, nobody expected Khan not to get knocked out. The thing with Brook is, it's a local thing for you guys in the US. Like it's like, New York and New Jersey or something like that, like, or whatever rivalry you guys have got. And it's about bragging rights, and it's something where you got to go home to your fucking family and get the piss ripped out, and there's a bit more to it. So I don't think Khan wants that fight. I really don't.
Hey, but guys, I think you haven't heard. Brook came out later today and said that in fact, having agreed to the 10 pounds rehydration clause was not true, and he's not agreeing on that.
No, I mean, Brook was tweeting about it today. The thing is, man, I agree with what you're saying, Abstract. I've always thought, a lot of people kind of always gone back and forth about who they think's at fault for this fight. I've always believed that Brook has always been the one that wanted this fight. Khan was the one who didn't want this fight. Khan was always, I'll tell you like this, right? When Khan, he said, Brook, if you beat Porter, you get that world title, we'll make the fight. He did that, and then Khan then come out and said a few months later, Brook's unknown. He needs to beat somebody or some relevance where, he gets known in the US market. Khan said all these different excuses of why this fight can happen. He said, I'm going for the Mayweather fight, I'm going for the Pacquiao fight. And then he came up with all these things saying that Brook needs to beat this guy, needs to beat that guy. He just said so many different reasons. And for me, I don't see how people can even argue that Khan didn't want this fight. I think it's clear as day he didn't want this fight. And the only reason he would take it now is because Mayweather and Pacquiao are talking about a rematch. Mayweather's basically retired. Pacquiao's not going to fight him. He's got no other choice. But for me, Khan was always the one And I think it was clear as day that did not want this fight. And, you know, a lot of people will go back and say Brook didn't want this fight. I've always thought that Brook wanted this fight. So,
I mean, I used to be quite a big fan of Khan at one time. Do you know what I mean? Like after the Olympics, and he was looking pretty good and whatnot. And he has put in some great performances. He's had a good career. But for me, like he's turned into a little bit of a joke kind of figure now. There was the whole going in the jungle. Then there was, I don't know, like one of the funniest things I've seen recently was it after the Greco fight? I think it was after the Greco fight when Brook was in the ring and like Carl come to the mic and went, don't forget it, I'm chasing you, and then like literally ran out of the ring. He like wouldn't hang around to give it. It was just so funny. I'm chasing you. I just thought, yeah.
Yeah,
he's chasing
I know
Mayweather.
what you mean, but I think the thing is, right, Khan for me, I've always been a fan of watching Khan fight, right, and I just don't like these. He has been a bit of he is a bit of a diva. I mean, people always say, oh, you know, Khan fought Canelo. You know, Khan wanted to fight Pacquiao, so how can he be scared of Brook? Well, the reason is Khan can get knocked out by Canelo. He can get knocked out by Pacquiao. The fact is, if he fought Brook, those paydays wouldn't be there. If he loses to Canelo, he loses to Pacquiao, loses to Mayweather, like the fights he was chasing, he's always got that second payday of Brook down the line. Exactly. So that's the reasons why he went for those fights.
Exactly. No one expected anything other than him getting knocked out by Canelo. So it wasn't really going to have that much of an effect on his market value or who he could fight afterwards at all, because it was just expected. It's like, yeah, well, you got knocked out by Canelo. Fucking obvious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think with Brook, I think if that fight happens, I think Brook probably will knock Khan out, to be completely honest. But I think Brook also is like, he fucked himself up with taking that Triple G fight. It's the worst, one of the worst decisions I've seen a fighter make in recent times. Like, I think like the damage he took both psychologically, physically in that fight, that then there's the weight, the going up in weight and having to come. I just think he's done himself like real harm. I know he got paid well for it, but fucking hell, you'd want to get paid well for it, wouldn't you? A little guy coming up and getting proper smashed up by Triple G.
Lose your health in that kind of fight. So
yeah. I mean, money's not much use if you can't fucking see the fucking check to write your signature on it. If you fucking orbitals get smashed that badly or whatever. So yeah.
I think the fight is going to happen. I think it's definitely going to happen next year, because they've got neither of them got anywhere else to go. Where's Khan going to go? I mean, let's be real. He's in a situation now, Khan, where he's got no choice but to fight Brook, because he's got no other options. He's had the payday. He's had the big fights. Nobody else is going to fight him. You know, everybody else is looking elsewhere. So if he doesn't fight Brook, he's going to be fighting scrubs, and then it's going to become very obvious that he doesn't want that fight.
Don't you think the Pacquiao fight's a possibility at least?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, they're talking about Floyd rematch, aren't they? Right? I mean, I don't know, man. If that fight happens, that Floyd rematch, then I think that fight is going to happen, to be honest, that rematch. But that's why I think he's looking at the Brook fight now. I think he knows that rematch is going to happen. And then let's be real, if that rematch does happen, say if he can't find anybody else, he's got no choice but to fight Brook. He can't keep fighting scrubs, because Brook's the biggest fight out there. It's the fight everyone's going to be demanding. If he doesn't take that fight, it's going to be a clear duck. So
I know, but the thing with the Pacquiao Mayweather fight again is like that. Like Floyd's done this a few times, hasn't he? When some other fighters have got a bit of fucking like, there's a huge fight coming up, he'll fucking come out. He's like a child who's like his brother's birthday and he can't take that his brother's getting presents and he ain't, and so he like fucking kicks off and throws himself on the floor of the supermarket, starts screaming. Like he don't like anybody else to be in the old spotlight, Floyd, does he? So I'm not sure that is actually going to happen.
No, very sorry.
What do the rest of you guys think?
I don't know. Bucho's still there.
Is anybody still there?
I was not following the last 2 minutes. Sorry.
Bucho's gone off and done some other crap. What's going on?
I was going to say, because it's only been me and you talking the last couple of
I was thinking
20 minutes. I was like, have we fucking dropped off the call? Just me and you, and nobody's told us.
Like a deja vu from last night or something. Can't get live.
No.
Nah, but now see, it's a bit awkward now. Where's Boot Show gone? Anybody in the chat got any questions? What's in this Boot Show ain't there for us? That's what I usually do. Oh, he's back, Boot. Boot Show's there.
I want to take a fuck, man. The moment I go take a leak, you just start mentioning my name.
Yeah, well, I was like, we were saying, I mean, Ash talking about Carl Brook, and when we kind of finished, we were, is anybody actually there? Like, Abstract was like, what do you guys think about it? No fucking answer.
The same Brit that's asking where's BDA. BDA is doing cocaine.
Yeah. Did anybody put any questions, Cameron? I'm not looking at. I can't see the chat.
I said people in the chat in the thing.
Yeah, we need to look at the chat, guys. We need to look at the chat because then people get pissed off. There were a lot of comments.
I always do.
I normally do. I just can't see it right now.
What Neto says? Why do guys want Kai to die in the ring? He's getting rocked by guys without power. Don't ask him to fight Brook or Pack. Why do guys want Kai to die in the ring? Nobody wants him to die in the ring, man. It's just
Nah.
No. Where is Boot Show from? Says Saint Brit. From Canada, right?
Yeah.
Mexico?
I was born in Mexico, but been in Canada.
You live in Canada, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of Callum Johnson's performance against Better B versus Jay McDonald? What do you think about it? I think me and you spoke about this last night on the Hangout, didn't we?
Yeah, well, the Hangout that we actually couldn't get to go live. Like, I thought it was a ballsy performance. I thought he showed no fear, and I would have liked to have seen him sort of like after he dropped. Because like I was saying this to you last night, Cameron. Like I didn't know the result because I'd been out all day. I didn't know who'd actually won the fight. The video that I clicked on, it just said knockout, and the thumbnail was of Callum Johnson like walking back to his corner. I was like, fucking hell, is that possible? I'm like, nah, he ain't beat fucking, Beterbiev. Like, and then I see him drop him, like, fucking hell, maybe he did. But he kind of like, he don't know, he still seemed quite, I thought Beterbiev was hurt. I thought he was badly hurt. It was a lovely left hook. He did himself proud. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, he's gone levels above where anybody he's fought in the past, and put in a good performance for me. Don't know what anybody else thought.
I echo what you're saying. Also to add to that, like I said last night at Hangout, that's the first time somebody's had this pressure Beterbiev to the point where he's had to be forced to box off the back foot since the amateurs. He's been on the front foot. Callum Johnson pressured him from the first bell until the last, till he got knocked out. He did freeze. When he knocked Beterbiev down, I don't know if they truly believed they were going to beat Beterbiev. I think it was kind of a thing where it was a chance they thought, we're going to take it because we might not get a chance again. I don't know if they truly believe it, because when Johnson knocked Beterbiev down, his kind of reactions and body language and the way he was fighting after that knockdown was kind of like, oh shit, I've knocked him down. I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? And I think he just couldn't capitalize on it. But fair play to the guy. He did more than I thought he would. I thought Beterbiev was going to go in and blow him out of there. I thought, look, this is a big jump from Frank Buglioni. You don't prepare for Beterbiev with Frank Buglioni. But Callum Johnson proved he can punch in there. He proved that he can compete at a high level. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing him fight some top contenders and before getting another title shot. Just not yet. I thought it was a good performance. What I like about Beterbiev is he can knock anybody out in that division. I think it's safe to say he can knock anybody out in the division, but he's also vulnerable himself. So, but a lot of people are kind of saying that Beterbiev's got a glass chin. I disagree with that, because let's look at all the lightweight champions. Stevenson's been knocked out. Kovale's been stopped. And even Andre Ward got dropped. All these light heavyweight champions have shown to be vulnerable, and they all punch hard, apart from Ward, obviously. So all the other guys punch hard. Alvarez has been hurt a few times as well in his career. He's not been knocked down, but he's been hurt. So, for me, I just think it's a real open division. And I hope to God Beterbiev gets stuck in here. He doesn't stay inactive like he has been, because he's 33 now, and it's time to get a move on. He said he wants Bivol next. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Sorry, I was on a bit there. Sorry.
Wasn't
I
he
agree.
a bit...
I don't judge somebody getting dropped as a glass jaw. Like, that's what a lot of people seem to do. Is like, as soon as someone gets dropped, they've got glass jaw. It's like, if you get up and you still win the fight, or you continue and you know, like, then that's not a glass jaw for me.
No, a glass jaw is for me. If you've not been knocked out, if you're undefeated and you've been knocked out, and you haven't been knocked out, how can you say it's a glass jaw? Like, everybody gets caught in boxing. It happens. You get knocked down. It happens. You know what I mean? Especially in a division like heavyweight. There's a lot of big punches in there. And Beterbiev's style, for example, he's got leaky defense, but he's we know what Beterbiev's about. He comes in there to take you out. And fighters with that style, it doesn't matter how good your chin is, chances are you're going to get dropped at some point. Let's be real. That's my opinion on that. So
it's like Roman Gonzalez. I mean, Roman Gonzalez, great going forward. You know, like little force of nature going forward, but defensively, I think he's pretty poor defensively. Like, a lot of the time, he goes forward with no defense, and it's like you say, Cameron. If you fight like that, you're going to be a pretty exciting fighter, but you are going to get hit. Just are like.
Look at Kovalev, man. He's been, even before he fought Ward, he got dropped a few times. He got dropped by was it Campillo or something, or Caballero?
Yeah, Blake
Boone, I think.
Yeah, Caballero dropped him. You know what I mean? So these guys that get dropped, guys with like a lot of these Eastern Europeans who've got that kind of come forward style where they look to take you out and they're big punches. You know, they get knocked down. All of them get knocked down. The only ones that haven't yet have been
Golovkin.
Golovkin and Gassiev. But all the others have been knocked down. It's just their fighting style. You're going to get hit. You're coming forward. You're throwing big shots. You're loading up. You're going to get tagged. And as soon as they get knocked down, it's like, oh, he's got a glass chin. I don't agree with that.
No, I don't. I mean, Golovkin's just got a fucking iron chin, like, quite clearly. But other than that, you are going to get dropped. Guy in the chat says, I mean, I don't know if you actually no. Oh no, ignore that because we've already talked about it. Go on, carry on.
As long as it's not Baby Miller.
It's Ortiz.
No, well, like, about who's Ortiz beat. Like,
God,
we've already kind of like said, haven't we? Like, he's really beat nobody other than Jennings. Like, Jennings.
Speaking of Brian Jennings, sorry for the plug. I've got Brian Jennings coming on my podcast tomorrow, guys. So remember to tune in for that on my YouTube channel.
We'll put Cameron's description. Sorry, his link in the description.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. GMT, which is like 3 p.m. Eastern time, I think. 1 p.m. Pacific or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's 5 hours. What else is there? I don't want to talk about the heavyweight division again, so...
What about...
Oh, wait, guys. You know, Crawford is fighting this Saturday.
Yeah,
we were saying this yesterday. Like, no one thinks he's fighting because the fucking fight's gone like over literally every boxing fan's head. Some people, when I said it was this week, were saying it's not this week. It's fucking not. Like, it is. Yeah, it is. Jose Benavidez.
I put a tweet out last night and it blew up to shit. Like, hundreds of people were going on it. I said, basically said, like, Crawford's, you know, I said Crawford's arguably number one fighter on the planet, definitely one of the most skilled out there, and he's fighting this weekend and nobody even realizes. And everybody was hitting me up on the tweet saying, I didn't even realize he was fighting. I didn't know Crawford was fighting. Now Crawford's not fighting this weekend. That's how bad it is, man, and it's disappointing. And somebody was saying to me earlier on, saying, why do you want them to hype up Crawford against Benavidez? And this is my reason for it, right? Crawford's their number one guy, top rank, right? ESPN in terms of their best fighter. And let's be real, if they want him to fight Errol Spence and they want him to be on pay-per-view and stuff in the future, he's not going to be a pay-per-view star. He's just not got the overall package for it. He's just not got the personality to be a pay-per-view star. But they should be promoting him every chance they can get. You know, there's no social media platforms. I've looked at Top Rank, I've looked at ESPN, Bob Arum. None of them have talked about this fight this weekend of Crawford. And even Box Nation tweeted out earlier on, and they're not even promoting Crawford, right? There's no promotion for him, and they should be promoting him because they want more. They should, you know, even one little tweet that could get I don't know, a handful more eyeballs on Crawford fighting this weekend, and they're not doing it. He's not getting promoted. I think Crawford would do better under someone like, I don't want to say it, but I think Crawford would do well with Hearn. I think they promote him quite well. I think they do a good job with Crawford. I think Aram's the best promoter in America in terms of sort of history and where he's at, but then I just don't think they're doing a good enough job with Crawford. And it comes down to the opponent. Benavidez, I thought he lost to Herrera years ago. It's not a good opponent, but I think that the promotion for Crawford has been pretty bad this time around.
The thing, Crawford don't do himself many favors either with I was saying this yesterday, like I've got an ashtray in my house. It's got quite a lot of colors on it. It's quite an interesting looking ashtray. I'm pretty sure it's more interesting than Crawford in his interviews. I mean, like he's like got zero personality, none at all.
Go listen to his interview when he was over here for fighting Ricky Burns. He did an interview with Kugan Cassius. Honestly, man, that interview.
I've seen it. I know the one you mean. He's just
so bad.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think I'd probably rather watch the washing machine, the clothes going round and round and round and round in the washing machine, than watch that interview again. So,
hey, by the way, guys, ALL Boxing in the chat is saying that the UK started to hate and dog USA boxers after Spence totally embarrassed Kell Brook in his own backyard and took his belt.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he's talking about the fact that we're talking about Crawford, but if I was on where the stuff I said about Crawford's true, I'm not the guy, you know what I mean? That is kind of aiming that at me or something like that. But look, what I'm saying is true. Crawford, they're not promoting him well. Crawford is one of my favourite fighters. Like I said on Twitter last night, he's arguably the best fighter on the planet. Might not have the resume to back it up, like official fight card, boxing scorecard in the chat here and on the panel. I agree with what he said earlier on. He hasn't got the resume of Lomachenko and Usyk, to potentially be pound for pound, but on skill, he's up there. He's just not been promoted well. I think the opponent choices a few times have been quite questionable. I think Benavidez is quite questionable. And if you've not noticed, right, when Crawford first moved up to 140, he fought lightweights moving up. Moved up to 147, he's got a belt, and now he's fighting a 140 pounder. The opponent choices for Crawford's been very questionable. Not too sure why they put Benavidez in there, because it's just not a good fight. It really isn't. And Crawford should be fighting. I know he's with, I can't remember what it was, but somebody said it might have been on the last podcast. It might have been somebody else on Twitter. Top rank haven't got any other welterweights. Yeah, I understand, but they've got to. If they believe in Crawford, this is what I think. If they believe in Crawford like they say they do, then they should be doing everything they can to match him up with guys on PBC, all these things, and hopefully they start doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if the sort of like UK fans comment was aimed at me either, but like this is a bit of a misconception. Like people seem to think that over in the UK we just like trash everybody else's fighters and like shit like that. Like, believe me, our own fighters we trash as well. Me personally, I just look at facts. I don't really. To be honest, I don't really give a shit where people are from. Like, I will still try and be honest about what I see. And Crawford is boring. I think there's English fighters that are boring. I mean, it's just what I see. It's not because of anything else. It's just because he's boring.
I actually don't mind watching Crawford fight. I just don't like the opponent. I mean, you look at his record, he's not got a signature win, right? And that's the thing that annoys me. For me, I want to see him fight. Again, Crawford reminds me, Crawford's another guy could be the best fighter in the world in terms of skill, but he's not fought at the highest level. Like, you look at, you break down his 140, look, he unified the 140 division. Great. I mean, first undisputed champion since Jermaine Taylor or whatever it was, Hopkins or something. But look who he beat. Ndongo, abstracts, we broke this down. Ndongo got 2 belts, being a shot Burns and catching Troinovsky cold in the first round, right? And then he got destroyed by Prograis in the last fight. I mean, Ndongo's not actually proven. Postal was a good win. Postal's solid. But anybody else he beat at 140 was bad. Like, not top level. I mean, let's be real.
What was his best win? I mean, even Horn, I thought Horn lost the Pacquiao fight, and beyond that, what's he done? I mean, he was clearly the weakest champion at welterweight, and that was who Crawford's gone up and gone after. And now Benavidez, I mean,
I think his top 3 wins. I think his top 3 wins is Postal, Horn, and Gamboa.
Yeah, I mean, Gamboa give him trouble, like, and like the size difference in that fight was like silly. So, I mean, look, I agree with you. If I'm looking at the eye test and I take nothing else into consideration, I think Crawford's a fucking awesome fighter. I think he's fantastic. He's got like the toolbox is fucking full, mate. He's got so many attributes and tricks and stuff, and he's a versatile fighter and whatnot. But like, you can't just look at that, because we've seen it time and time again, haven't we? Where people look great until they step up, and then not so much. Like, that's the story of boxing.
Punisher in the chat says Crawford didn't beat Postal. Don't know about that. I don't even think that was a close fight. No, like, I think that Crawford winning about 9-3.
I thought it was bit of a negative performance from Crawford, but I think he did win. I mean, like,
I think he could have stopped Postal. I think he could have knocked Postal out. I think he had the ability to do that. Truly believe he could stop Postal.
Possibly, but I thought he fought quite negatively.
Yeah, he did. Go on, bro. You haven't really said much. Go on.
Oh, well, I don't have a lot to say. Just to say that, sorry, that yeah, he fought negatively. He stung the joint out, but yeah, he clearly win. Like, if I remember, I thought just first couple of couple of rounds were kind of close, 2 or 3 rounds. I gave Pastol 2 rounds maybe, and the rest went to Crawford, so he clearly beat him. But and yeah, by the way, at that night he showed great footwork, but other than that, it was like a really boring fight. So that's maybe what the guy in the chat was telling, like he just outpointed Pastel but didn't put the beating on him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't see a case for Postal actually winning that fight. I don't know if he's saying it in that context, but let's see who else is in the chat. Crawford, to me, fights better as a southpaw than orthodox fighter. Seems to be much more balanced and defensively more comfortable, says Violent News Network. I actually agree with that. I was saying something similar to that to another writer not too long ago. All boxing, you was bragging about Tank beating Liam Walsh. Crawford's protected like a prospect and is 31 already. I don't think he's protected. I just don't think he's had the opponents and divisions he's fought in. But when he fought at lightweight, I mean, who was at lightweight at the time when he was champion? Garcia wasn't around. Easter wasn't around. Was Linares around? I mean, Linares might have been around. But Crawford's not had the opponents. I mean, this is what I've said numerous times. I think everybody agree. Crawford moving to welterweight is where we're going to see how great Crawford is. He's got that whole division of good opponents there where he can test himself. Is anybody else there?
Yep, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm here. I agree with you. I said this a while ago. Like, I think the thing is, Crawford, he is a welterweight. I mean, like, he didn't look small with Horn. I think exactly like you said, Cameron. I think this is where he'll either make his legacy, and he can quite easily become like the top guy pound for pound if other people sort of like have hiccups and whatnot. But for me, just at the moment, I don't even know if he cracks the top 5, to be completely honest. Like, I just don't think the wins are there.
Yeah. I think Usyk and Lomachenko being my number 1 and 2 at the moment. Recognize the Matrix says, "Call me Boot Show." Link's not letting me in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that, Boot Show.
Got it. Who's that guy? ALL Boxing. He's causing a lot of shit.
How many of you UK fanboys changed the name of your page after Spence went to the UK and made Brook say no mass? Yeah, he seems to have an agenda against the UK guys, man. I don't know if he's talking about people in the chat or not, because me and Abstract, like, not to brag, but we talk sense. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have agendas. We just talk truth. Like, we got no agendas against US people here. So,
yeah, I mean, like, there's quite a lot of, if anybody cares to check. I was on the Boxing Gossip podcast for about 2 years, and I'd slag fighters off no matter where they're from. And I ain't changed the title, the name of my channel either. So I don't know what he's on about. I think he's trolling. Like, I think a couple of other people are just saying, like, as well, why he's like sort of like spamming the fucking chat. Like,
I ain't changed my name either. Mine's still my name. We Degree in the chat says, Cam, you talking to Jennings live or pre-recorded? What time do you say? Go on my channel, and there's a stream, Hangout stream set up ready for tomorrow night. It'll be live. So yeah, you'll get the link. If you're subscribed, you'll get it. I've already set up the stream ready for it at the event. So just go over there and you'll find the stream, man, and just click reminder on that and you'll get it. But yeah, we'll be live. It'll be on video as well. So it'll be a watching podcast.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
What's up? Recognize.
What up, guys? Can you guys hear me all right?
No.
what's going on, bro?
All right.
Can't hear you, man. You're kind of quite quiet.
How about now? You hear me good?
Nah, you're good, man. I'm just trolling.
Are you trolling like AL boxing, all boxing?
Yeah, I'm trolling. Yeah.
That guy's a damn fool.
Fuck hey, Cameron, what happened with boxing style? You said you had a hangout.
Watch his videos. He all boxing used to have like videos out. That shit was trash. It was all biased shit. Nothing, no content. Just UK fighters suck. This and that sucks. Lomachenko's a hype job.
Pucho, what did you say, Pucho?
What happened with boxing styles? You said you had a hangouts with him, so you talked to him.
Yeah, me and Boxing Style were on a hangouts. Me and Boxing Style now trying to hangouts last night, and yeah, me and Boxing Style we had a good chat last night about a lot of stuff. Me and Boxing Style were good. I think he's got beef with Stu, but me and him have never had beef, man.
All right.
Him and Stu have got beef, I think. I don't think it's actual beef, but they're talking about coming on the show and having a nice little debate and shit. So,
Cameron, let me finish. I don't have beef with you.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Look, I said to him, I was like, you know, people actually think our beef is real. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, well.
I was hoping.
What is that sound, man? Recognize.
It's always recognized, man.
Yeah, man.
Always wrecking shit.
But it's like a clipping sound.
It's like he's using 1980s microphone, like, you know, it's always clicking.
Yeah. There's like a
but you know what it is?
sound.
I got one of those Bluetooth headphones. They're supposed to work good. I don't know.
No, they're garbage.
I mean, you know what?
I mean, they're good. Like, I don't
now. Nah.
Yeah. Better.
All right. What I'll do is I'll use the regular string, you know, old fashioned.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I use that, it doesn't clip. But you guys were talking about I guess you guys were talking about Khan. Is Khan and Brook? Is that fight like almost?
Nah, it's not. There's nowhere near done. It's being negotiated.
It's being negotiated, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they should make that fight happen. What's up with Brook? I mean, not Brook. What's up with Khan? Khan is so scared of him, man.
He's probably, you know, this is what my theory is. He still believes that he can get that Floyd Mayweather fight.
Oh, come on, man. Floyd obviously doesn't have no interest in fighting him. He just never did. He didn't want. Floyd did not want it with Khan. He just didn't. I think Floyd would have beat him when he was fighting, but he just did not want to fight Khan. He didn't.
Khan was on about Floyd again the other day, weren't he? Like, fucking, Floyd ducked him and that. Like, It's almost like
he did duck him.
Like, you know, when you try and like get a girl to go out with you can't get her out of your head and that, and like, you know, you keep ringing her and stuff like that. It's like that he's like fucking can't get Floyd out of his fucking head, man.
To be fair to Khan, Floyd did duck him. He did. There's no doubt about that. He did not want to fight him. I think Floyd beats him in his prime. You know, when he was still fighting, I think Floyd would have beat Khan, but he didn't want that fight. And you know, in today's world, when a fighter doesn't want to fight, we say he's ducking, right? So, yeah, if we're going to use that as an example, Floyd was not interested in fighting Khan, even when Khan was like a #1 mandatory for his belt. So, but he's delusional. Khan, that is, he's delusional. Like, hoping that you're going to fight Floyd Mayweather one day. Like, the dude is 41, 42. You know, Floyd's going to come back and fight Manny Pacquiao for another $100 million payday if he comes back. You know, maybe a long shot Canelo. That's it. Those are the only two fighters I could see him fight.
Yeah,
but the rumor is that.
Oh my god! All boxing has Charlo pound for pound #3 apparently. This is what.
Yeah, he's joking. He's a troll.
Just keep getting jerky with me.
Jesus,
he must be taking He must be trolling, man.
This is a giant.
No, he's for real. He's for real. You gotta listen to his videos. I mean,
what? No, he's not.
Yeah. I listened to his videos a long time ago.
The thing with pound for pound list, though, you got to ask people what their criteria is, because, like, I know people that do pound for pound list just based on eye test, and quite often those guys, like, you listen to what they say about boxing and they ain't got a fucking Danny LaRue. It's really obvious. But the thing is, with pound for pound, if you don't take resume into consideration, for me it's just void, because, like, how else can you really gauge or separate fighters, like, you know?
Wait, what's this? Hold on. Can you?
Yeah, I'm doing this video on the rumor of Lomachenko versus Manny Pacquiao. And you heard what I said, rumor. I say it's a rumor because it's funny how they making a rumor that Lomachenko is going to fight Manny Pacquiao after Mikey Garcia versus Sergey Lipinets fight is being called off. Guys, can y'all say the word duck? Yes. I believe that Bob Arum and Lomachenko.
That's enough. So that's ALL boxing.
He talks real slow too, right? Like, Lomachenko versus Pacquiao.
Gonna duck him.
Like,
well, listen,
over, man.
He's
got low energy when he speaks.
I'm not even gonna get into pound for pound talk, man. It's a lot of bullshit. But no, I mean, look, Charlo's not in the top 3 middleweight. They're not in the top 3 pound for pound. You know what I mean?
So, that's a good point. He's really not. He's really not. I
think Charlo right now is a top 3 hype job. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He hasn't done anything. He could be a really good fighter, but right now he's a hype job. And the hype is that he's beaten who exactly? Who is he beating?
The Quags has hit it right in the nail, hit the nail on the head. He said, pound for pound criteria, is he black? The end. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people choose their pound for pound list on skin color. We'll be honest. We all know these people.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that do that, and I would imagine that it's a mixture of everybody that kind of does shit like that. But it's like, look, man, that's your opinion. You think Charlo, for whatever reason, you think Charlo's top 3 pound for pound fighter who hasn't done anything. When I say Lomachenko's a top 3 pound for pound fighter, he has a way better resume.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've heard black guys doing it with black guys, and I've actually heard white guys doing it with white guys as well, where what they say doesn't seem to make much sense in the context of the thing. To be quite honest, in both cases, I just fucking ignore them once it becomes clear that that's the kind of shit that they're using to formulate their opinions and their sort of like spiel. Like, I just don't pay any mind to any of them, because like, if skin color's got nothing to do with boxing, it's just got nothing to do with it whatsoever. So, like,
yeah. Well, to us it does. Yeah, to us true boxing fans haven't got an agenda. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care what color skin they are. If I recognise a good fight, I recognise a good fight. I don't care what they look like.
Yeah, same as.
I just like boxing. I like seeing the best fight the best fights out there. It doesn't matter, man. Like, I don't want to get into this talk, man. It's something I don't like getting into. But
no, let's get into it.
No, I don't like getting into LGBT race shite. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bullshit, man.
All right.
Well, I mean, I got stick for saying Usyk was towards the top of the pound for pound list now, and somebody tried to argue that Crawford's undisputed at 140 was better. And like, if somebody wants to say that, then that's your opinion. But I'm happy to debate it, and I will sort of like blow you out the water, because it's not even close.
And I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that was a classic, man. That was one of the greatest songs ever.
Oh man. So wait, recognize you think that Charlie's a hype job? Is that what you said? Hype job?
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that.
That sounds bad though. Sounds bad.
Okay, I mean, listen, it doesn't sound great, right? But he's a hype job. He hasn't beaten nobody.
Yeah, no, I know what Recognize is saying. Like, if you've already been being spoken about in that way, like pound for pound, this, that, and the other, before you've beaten anybody, that's hype. That's exactly what that is. Now, I think he looks like a good fighter. He does look like a good fighter. He's clearly got a lot of power. He looks pretty good fundamentally and stuff as well. But we just don't know yet. We don't know yet, because he's looking good against not great. I mean, he's not fighting bums, but like, not great opponents. It's simple as that.
His middleweight resume is he fought bums, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? The guy whose leg fell off? And Santino.
Highland.
Yeah, and then Hugo. Like,
he came in with one leg.
Yeah, so there's only 2 wins. I mean, like, Cameron's point, like, was it? I think Cameron said it. Like, he's not even top 5 middleweight. He's not.
No.
Hey, by the way, in the chat,
does he even? Yeah. I mean, I can name 5 of middleweights off the top of my head who are more deserving of a top 5 spot than Charlo based on who they beat. So maybe even more than 5. You know what I mean? That's it.
In the chat, ALL Boxing is saying that
even fucking David Lamoon's above Charlo on resume middleweight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Robert Guerrero was a well-respected gatekeeper, but after Floyd fought him, he was a bum.
No, Guerrero. No.
He got his,
Are you fucking chill?
He got his ass beat at
Guerrero,
22 by Orlando Salido. What is he talking about?
No. Guerrero was a very good technical fighter at featherweight and lightweight. As soon as he jumped to 147, he became this one-dimensional brawler, man. He lost all that technical ability.
Yeah, and he fought Andre Berto, and in an exciting fight. And it looked in that fight as if Guerrero had a lot of power, because fucking Berto falls down all the time. He goes down all the time. But that fight created this illusion that Guerrero's dangerous and he has power. He never had power above 140. At 147, he had no power at all. He wasn't dangerous.
He was a punch bag at 147.
Yeah. Oh, he's a southpaw or some shit. Get out of here. Guerrero was shit.
Guerrero
he didn't do anything after Floyd. What are you going to say? Oh, Floyd destroyed him? Come on.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was supposed to. That Floyd was supposed to outclass him and beat him. But Guerrero already had been beaten up before he even went to 147. That's a fact. I don't care that they took the fight away from Salido because of some fucking drug problem, right? Whatever what was it? What was it? He had something in his system. I forgot what it was. But in the fight, he beat the living daylights. He dominated. I'm sorry, he dominated Guerrero in that fight.
How is a gatekeeper a bum? Alex Guerrero says a gatekeeper is a bum. I mean, what's the definition of a bum? I don't even like using the word bum. You know what I mean? I don't like. What's the definition of a bum, man? I mean, come on.
No, he said Guerrero was a gatekeeper, and then people started calling him a bum after Floyd destroyed him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
he wasn't a bum after. He was just the same guy. He was.
Yeah, he was more or less the same fighter. He's just that when he went up against the upper class of that weight, Floyd Mayweather, obviously, he was completely outclassed. He wasn't. But
Trusa says Guerrero looked like a stationary fight at 147 and 140. And to this day, I don't know how he got. He was never at 140, man. He jumped from lightweight straight to welterweight. That's why he was so one-dimensional at welterweight. It was just too much of a jump for him, man. Like he just.
Where did he fight? Where did he fight Salido, Cameron?
Featherweight.
Featherweight, right. So he fought him at 126, then went up to 130. I believe he went up. Did he skip 130? He may have fought at 132. At 130 at one point.
He campaigned at featherweight and lightweight. Then he jumps junior welterweight.
Right.
So
he's a 4-division champion.
Dude.
I mean, how losing to one of the best fighters of a generation makes you a bum? I don't know. Anyway,
what he's trying to say is that Floyd somehow destroyed him, like destroyed his health and turned him to a bum. Which that's not what happened. I mean, Floyd doesn't destroy nobody's health. He doesn't do that.
Apart from his own and his hands, his brittle.
He's brittle hands. I love how these Floyd Mayweather fans act like he was some type.
They make him like he's Mike Tyson or something.
Yeah, he's not. He's
got knuckles like digestive biscuits. Floyd has.
Exactly.
He whooped Canelo. He destroyed Canelo. It's like, get out of here.
Yeah, Canelo's better than ever. After that fight, Canelo's like a 20 times better fighter than he was.
Yeah, really ruined that guy's career, didn't he? Like, fucking...
Yeah, when Floyd fights a shitty opponent, and obviously logic is gonna tell you that if that guy was shitty before fighting Floyd, he's still gonna be shitty. Oh no, now he's shitty because Floyd made him shitty. No, he was already shit. But with Canelo,
plus guys, if Floyd was such a punishing puncher, Oscar De La Hoya would never put his young future cash cow in Canelo against him because let's be true, he knew that he won't get too much punishment against Floyd. He may only get schooled, but that's it. And he became after that even more popular, etc.
Yeah, I mean, these fighters didn't lose any sleep after that.
Your pound for pound list is absolute AIDS. He's just put in the chat. He's got Crawford number 1, Spence 2, Mikey Garcia 3, Usyk 4, Hurd 5.
Oh,
he has no agenda, right? It's just
no agenda.
No.
He doesn't have Lomachenko in his pound for pound list, but he has Jarrett Hurd.
No. You're saying it wrong. You got to say it the way he says it. It's Lomachenko.
Yeah, well, Lomachenko. According to him, Lomachenko is a weight bully, and he's ducking fight. So, here's what it is.
You don't know anything. Let's just say you don't know anything, and just start from there. You don't know anything. Let's just say you don't know anything, and just start from there.
Lomachenko, apparently.
I'm guessing he's talking about Rigo, but I think he may want to do his research and figure out that actually Rigo called Loma out for fucking.
Oh, that's my idea, man. Everybody was picking all these people with agendas and like LDBC. They're all picking Rigondeaux to beat Loma, and as soon as he schools him, he's like, "Nah, he's a weight bully." You know what I mean?
He was so big. The thing is, Lomachenko. When they start saying that Lomachenko, he was so big. Like, what the hell? It's like Lomachenko. What he pinned Rigon down the ropes and was wailing on him or something because he was so big. He wasn't that, man. Fucking Lomachenko bitch slapped him into submission. He bitch slapped him.
Yeah, he didn't use size at all. I completely agree, Brucho. The size never even come into it. He was more skilled. Simple.
Lomachenko and Crawford. How many clinches did Lomachenko and Rigondeaux have?
0.
Like, there you go. How can you say that like Lomachenko was too big? It was all at range. There was no clinching, no inside work against the ropes. Lomachenko wasn't booming against the ropes. It was all in the center of the ring. Lomachenko was just that good. But
Rigo kept trying to grab his gloves and stuff and got warned for it and stuff. But all Loma was doing was like pulling his gloves out from under Rigo's arms and stuff. Like, I mean, size wasn't a factor in that fight whatsoever. Skill was.
Rigondeaux broke his hand punching thin air. That was a good one.
Oh yeah. And Rigondeaux didn't land anything, and he's supposed to be as fast, if not faster, than Lomachenko, right?
I think Rigondeaux's a great fighter, right? I've always said that Rigondeaux is a great fighter, but he's not. I feel like a lot of people are overhyping this, this supposed slickness and this technical ability he had. I don't think Rigondeaux was as good as some people made out. Let's be, he was avoided by super bantamweight, but he was quite basic. I thought Rigondeaux.
Listen. I thought he was quite one-dimensional. He's a sniper. He's a sniper. Yeah. And that's really all he is.
He beat Nonito Donaire. He beat Nonito Donaire, and Max Kellerman was all over Nonito Donaire. Remember, he was saying, if Nonito Donaire was at 147, would he be as dominating as he is? Yes, he would. And he would actually cause flipper. And then, if Nonito Donaire was at light heavyweight, would he cause, 168, 175, whatever, would he cause any problems to Underworld? I think so. It's like, come on. So.
He said that about Mayweather as well, didn't he? He said if Donaire was at welterweight, he could beat Mayweather.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, man. By the way, hold on, guys.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's going on, guys? What's happening?
Yeah, Jimmy, you caused a bit of an uproar on Twitter. A lot of people were tweeting me saying, I didn't know you were Scottish, Cam, because you're on Twitter. I'm not Scottish, man. A lot of people fell for that.
Oh, what are you, Welsh?
I'm English, man.
Oh, I thought you were Scottish.
No, man, that's what people were hitting me up saying.
What?
Yo, I didn't know
I'm sorry, dude. I gotta fucking untweet that. What an idiot. I thought you were Scottish.
No, man, people were hitting me up on Twitter saying, I didn't know you were Scottish, man. I went, I'm English, man.
Oh, I thought you was, dude, I'm sorry. I thought you said you were from Glasgow.
Nah,
this whole time. Oh, no shit.
Nah, man. I appreciate the tweet.
No, I feel bad now. I feel like a knucklehead. Wow.
Cameron, whereabouts? Sorry to interrupt, mate. This fucking
no
keep fucking not hearing people. Like, whereabouts are you from?
Right down the bottom of the country. I'm the South Coast.
South Coast, yeah. Sorry, go on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
By the way, in the chat,
I live on a seafront. I can see the beach from my out front window. That's how far I'm down the country.
Sweet.
Yep.
In the chat, Virtuoso saying that
tsunami.
No, I don't get tsunamis here, man. It's a bit cold in this time of year.
Well, you got all it is the earthquake, right? You have a nasty earthquake. Say if they had one at the Atlantic, plate snapped or something.
Yeah,
my sister lives right on the beach too, up in New Hampshire, and she can't stop thinking about it now.
No earthquakes here though, is there? I don't think.
Well, it's just the pressure plates. It could just happen. They're constantly moving.
Hey, Jim.
Johnson says, where the fuck am I Jamaican? Where did you get that from? Jamaican.
You are Jamaican, Joe. They got that from X. X is telling everybody.
Oh, yeah. I'm a light-skinned black.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my Yanks got to beat your Sox today, man. Well, we're done, right?
Yeah, well, it's weird, dude. My dad passed away just a year ago. He was a baseball coach for 36 years, a park named after him when he was still alive. So baseball was such an intricate part of his life. Like the Sox sent something nice platform when he passed. But I can't watch baseball still to this day. I can't because,
I hear you,
you know what I'm saying? I know that sounds weird, but I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched the Sox for my whole life, fucking decades with my dad when he was much more into baseball than I was. So now I just can't. I just still can't. I can't bring myself to watch this the second year.
When my father passed away, I didn't watch boxing for a few years. I stopped.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But your Red Sox look good, man. Just to let you know.
Yeah, they're having a great year. That's all I've heard.
I was at the game yesterday, And they killed the Yankees 16-1.
See, I don't even know who. I didn't even know who was in the playoffs, bro. Swear to God.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew the playoffs were in because I haven't. Because if I start watching it, I'll get into it. I'm just not ready to. I don't know. That sounds fucking. But you know how it is.
Yeah, but recognize he's a Mets fan. He claims to be a Yankee fan, but he's actually a Mets fan.
Nah, I'm from Queens. I'm from Queens. I never rooted for them. Never rooted for them, man. I always rooted for the Yankees. Always.
Yeah, how can you not like the Yankees, man? I'm from Boston. I like the Yankees. How can you not, man? I remember Billy Martin, the days of fucking Catfish Hunter, and always characters. And there's Steinbrenner, man. He's a sitcom, that dude. The shit he's said over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a dynasty. And Starch, getting his shorts dirty, huh?
What do you think about that?
No, he got dropped before. Like, I was watching on the Sky Sports, and they were like, "Oh, this is the first time Beterbiev has been dropped." I was like, "No." I tweeted him. I was like, "Jeff Page knocked him down a few years ago."
See, that's what I heard the announcer. I'm going off by the announcer too.
Yeah, Jeff Page.
I'm batting 0.
You type in YouTube, Jeff Page, Beterbiev, he knocks him down. He got straight back up. It's a bit of a flash knockdown, but
he's got the same thing he's got the same situation. He can bend at the waist. He can step outside. He does the same shit, but he has that same. If you look at his feet, if you look at him just from the waist down, there's no almost from Kovalev. He has to have that wide stance, the toe pointing straight out. You know what I mean? Before he ever throws anything hard, if he's not get his feet in that exact almost L position, it just it's starting to become a pet peeve of mine. I notice so many of the Russian fighters have that. They have to be in that. They just and then he got sloppy. I thought he got lazy. He didn't even pull his pants back. He was just leaving them out, which he was always pretty. I don't know. Maybe he started reading the text. I mean, the tweets saying he was boring. I don't know if that played into it. He was trying to be more exciting, but you can be exciting and let your hands go without being lazy. That kid can hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his defense was leaky. The thing is with Beterbiev, I've done a lot of work with him and interviews and stuff, and I don't know, man. I don't think the activity played a part in it because he's only fought. That was only his second fight in 2 years.
Absolutely, in my opinion, for its worth, that has a lot to do with it. Yeah. I can't stress that enough, man. Fighters got to fight. Your face got to get used to being hit. Your head gets used to it. It becomes like almost the hit is callous. You know what I mean? You just get used to getting punched in the dome. Seriously, like anything else. And it's different from sparring. You can never try to. I mean, I guess even Conor McGregor. I guess his coach tried to emulate fighting, like have referees and go all out a little bit. But like you said, no matter what, it's not actual fighting.
Yeah, I thought Beterbiev, he looks sloppy. I mean, Beterbiev's always had a bit of a leaky defense, but I don't know, man. I think Callum Johnson, what I liked about Johnson was he pressured Beterbiev from the first bell until he got stopped. That was the first time Beterbiev's had to box on the back foot since the amateurs. I think Beterbiev is so used to having it all his own way. I think he was kind of taken back a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He has too much power.
Sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I caught you on a delay.
That's okay. I was just gonna say that it looks to me like Beterbiev is so relaxed now because he believes so much in his power. Like he's like, I'm gonna catch guy eventually. Yeah, and he relaxes and makes mistakes.
That's why power punches need to stay active. Exactly what you said. And Cameron said Beterbiev has a bit of a leaky defense. But then again, most guys who rely on power do have a leaky defense, even if they're really good. Because remember, they're committing to offense. When you commit to offense, you give something. You give something away. And when he got dropped, right, I take that as he's a power puncher that needs to be in the ring more. He needs to be more active.
I said this at the start of the show before everyone came on. I said to Abstract, I've seen a lot of people kind of claim that Beterbiev's got a bit of a glass jaw. I watched, I think it was Stu's video on the players' fight. He said he thinks Beterbiev's got a bit of a glass jaw. The thing is with these guys, a lot of these Eastern Europeans have all been dropped. We've seen it, before, like I said, before he fought Ward, Kovalev got dropped by Capolero. A lot of these Eastern Europeans have been dropped because of their style. Like when you're coming forward and you're looking to take everyone out, you're a big puncher. The only ones we haven't seen do that yet is Golovkin and Gassiev. They've not been knocked down, but everybody else has. When you've got that sort of style, you're going to leave yourself to vulnerabilities to get tagged back. You're going to get hit back regardless. And that's why I can't sit here and say Viterbia's got a glass jaw because he got dropped, because his fighting style leaves him open to get tagged. You know, he's always been getting tagged. He got tagged by Johnson, got tagged by Jeff Page Jr., he got tagged by Cloud before he stopped him. You know, but Viterbia's got that style where he's going to get hit. And if he gets hit, it's because of his fighting style. It's not because he's got a glass jaw, you know. That's my
power punches, when they throw their weight behind it, when they miss, they continue to go through. You can always tell the fighters who pull their punches, you know, the snap punches, just snap it out, pop, pop, and they're not actually, you know, twisting at the hip and putting their weight. Because when you miss, first off, it takes more out of you when you miss somebody, but it leaves you in a very vulnerable position when you're a power puncher because you're putting so much behind it. And you know what I mean? And yeah, I was just surprised he didn't pull his hands back. He was leaving them just down.
And there's different kind of power punches, right? Like guys like Lomachenko, they're rhythm power punches, right? They've got to throw a lot of punches, and then after a while, once they get the rhythm, their power punches start to land. With Beterbiev, guys like him, those guys, they're like, these guys they don't need to warm up to hit you with hard shots. They can hit hard shots from the beginning. So those guys have leaky defense. They just do. They like normally, it's not leaky defense. It's just that when you know, like I said, when you commit to offense because you have a lot of power, you're gonna leave a little bit of yourself open. And I don't see that as bad defense. I just see that his main game plan is to hurt you and knock you out, which is the name of the game. The longer the fight goes, the more danger you're going to be in.
Hey, now you mentioned Lomachenko. Real quick, that kid who rents off me, whose girl's originally from Miami, she was talking to her brother who is in with that whole Miami, you know, Cuban barking crowd down there. And this, I believe, when he told me, it makes sense. But I guess Rigondeaux was telling people what was surprising about Lomachenko, and you could probably see him, you know, everything has to be different, the challenge to this kid. He never threw anything the same. Everything was, his power punches were always different. He always took a little off. It was constant. Like, he didn't hit him with his hardest, like the hardest punch was until, I guess Rigondeaux said, the second round before he actually cracked him. So he's constantly doing that too, which is, that makes you tired too mentally. It's like facing a good changeup pitcher. You know what I mean? One thing comes down 97, the next one you're swinging and the ball's not even halfway there.
Jimmy, you know? I always said this. I believe Lomachenko's power, his power comes from his wrists. So you'll see a lot of times where he's not really punching, you know, like punching from the shoulder all the way down.
The Bruce Lee tactic. He made that famous.
Exactly. He's doing the stiff from the elbow down to the wrist, and he's throwing those stiff punches because it comes faster. It comes faster.
You can control your kinetic energy. You control your point, all your kinetic energy into the bang. Some guys can really do it. I mean, Bruce Lee was 140 pounds, and he would send 200-pound. He would just, because he put his fingertip to your chest bone, so his fingers actually touching your chest bone. And he'd say, ready? And he'd have like a $500 bet, which was good money back then to anybody. And just, boom, just from there, no matter who it was, they went flying backwards. So you can do it. You just got to get used to it.
The thing with Lomachenko is as well, his punch technique is so good, and he's so sort of like clever as well. If you look at the Rocky Martinez knockout, where he like uppercuts him to lift his chin up and then throws that right, like that. I mean, that for me was fucking absolute class. You know,
excellent point. Excellent point. Yeah, he served that up. Boop, bip.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off. I've got to shoot off. So have a good. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one, brother.
Good night.
Hey, Stu's rant was good, huh? Who is he battling with?
Boxing style.
What's that?
Boxing style.
Is that a real beef?
Nah. It's banter.
Nah, my boxing style. We all kind of dig into boxing style. Me and him kind of spoke last night because me and him have been going at it. He's actually quite a funny guy, man. I actually like boxing style. Good guy.
I'm amazing. Let me finish.
Let me finish.
You're okay, Cameron. You can talk.
All right, so we talked about...
Fuck you, recognize. I don't care what you got to say. Fuck you.
Hey, guys, we talked about Billy Joe Saunders and that situation. Anybody else want to say something before we bury that subject?
I've already spoke about that. Oh, yeah.
All right. So forget about that.
We
also had Amir Khan against Brook. Apparently, it's not happening. Anything else about that?
Where have you seen that?
You said that it's not happening.
No, look, it's not happening this year, but I think.
Okay, well, fuck.
I said it will happen next year, so they're negotiating that fight.
Okay.
It will happen next year. It will happen next year, man. 100%.
Okay, all right.
I think Abstract was saying before I jumped on. I heard him say he doubts this fight happens.
Yeah, Abstract said he doesn't.
I'm with Abstract.
Who's that? Who Khan Brook?
Yeah,
Khan and Brook.
That's another Mayweather Pacquiao syndrome there. That's a few years late.
Yeah,
it's good. I'll put on Twitter. It's a good 3 years late, that fight.
But you know what?
Khan reminds me of Mayweather in that situation.
He'll still bring out the UK fucking fans in droves, though. They'll still pack the place.
Yeah,
UK fans love their boxing, man. They'll show up. That's how they are, man.
I put on Twitter what I tweeted about. I said, look, the fight's 3 years late, but we're all still going to watch it. You know what I mean? So,
right. Oh yeah, no, I would. It's still a good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good fight, especially at this stage of their career. Like, I don't see, Khan's not going to beat any of the champions. And
listen, if my opinion, if Khan had a chin, that kid be dangerous. He had fast hands. You know what I mean? If that kid had a chin, he'd be fucking unbelievable.
He would have had a nice run.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. That kid had talent. He would have been lightning quick hands.
If he had a chin, he would have
been a guy that would have been in that mix of when Mayweather and Pacquiao were like the dominant force at 147.
Yeah.
He would have been in that mix, maybe at number 3, but a dangerous number 3 that can beat those both.
That's why Mayweather strung him along. Mayweather can hit, but he's not a power puncher. There's no way Mayweather was going to fight him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you see,
no way he was going to fight Khan back 3-4 years ago when he had.
You know why? I think the reason why I thought Mayweather would have beat him, because I thought that Mayweather would have eventually caught him. Not that he's a hard puncher, he would have eventually caught him while getting hit. And he would have snuck one in through that leaky defense that would at least hurt him and keep him hurt. That's why I thought Floyd Mayweather would have beat Khan. But I think Khan would have, in terms of rounds, would have taken a lot of rounds from Floyd.
Right? Yeah. No. My opinion when he was. I agree with you.
Well, that's why Floyd didn't want to fight Amir Khan. That's for sure.
Because he doesn't have confidence in his power. I think in that situation, I have more confidence in Floyd's power than Floyd himself did.
He's got that perfect boxer's build too. He's lean, you know what I mean, long arms,
speed.
But he could have a good chin.
Oh man, my Twitter's blowing up tonight.
All right. So we talked about Saunders. We talked about Brook. Talked about Dylan Whyte against Luis Ortiz.
Is that Jimmy, fight gonna happen, Luis Ortiz and Whyte?
They might fight December 22nd.
Just breaking news. Not boxing related. Cormier versus Derek Lewis is official for UFC 230 in a month now. Heavyweight title.
Cormier, all right.
Yeah, it's Derek Lewis. Yeah, the guy who had the knockout weekend.
All right.
Yeah, that's quick. That noise
couldn't beat the legend. Couldn't beat the legend, John Bone Jones.
Nah, no, I don't think anybody beats Jones, man.
Yep, I agree.
He's never coming back.
That's to me. That's the best MMA fight I've seen.
What's that?
Jones.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think he's the best fighter I've seen.
I'm a casual follower of the sport. I think he's the best.
I'm quite deep in the sport now. Go on, Jimmy. Sorry, man.
No, I was going to say that Mighty Johnson, the little dude, because he's small, probably best overall MMA if you count kicking, wrestling, all that. I would probably have to rate him the best.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of attention because he was
like you guys know more than me, but like the fighters that I've seen, man, that dude was like the perfect weapon. Isn't he like 6'4", 205 pounds?
Yeah, Jones is
tame. You know, that's like the perfect height and the perfect weight.
Well, picture his family. Picture growing up at his house. He's got two brothers in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
One was with the Patriots.
And the other one played with the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens.
Is it Alex Jones? Is it?
Alex Jones.
AJ.
No. It's Damn, I totally forgot, man. I'm a huge football fan, so I kind of like know.
I don't know anything about football. All I know is I've heard of Alex Jones recently. Whoever the fuck that guy is.
Guy from InfoWars.
Guy from InfoWars. They got banned from Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everything. The only thing the only thing they didn't they haven't taken is URL yet.
I think he's on a Gab and BitChute.
13 rounds of boxing in the chat says send me a link, BDA.
13 rounds. Oh, I know what that is.
I know who that is, man. Yeah, Jimmy, I appreciate your tweet, man. Like, you did actually had a Jennings an interview, was it? I think.
Oh yeah, no problem, brother. I mean, yeah, no, you guys, if there's anything you want me to retweet or promote, absolutely, anytime. I mean, I hope absolutely. Plus, I respect their opinion. It's not just I've
got a lot of interviews coming up, man. A lot. I'm going deep back into the deep end of boxing work now.
Good, brother. Good for you. We need guys.
Get back on Twitter. Gotta get back. I gotta get back on Twitter.
Yeah, man. You should interact with me, man. I've got quite a decent following on Twitter now, man. All my tweets do well. It's good. I like Twitter.
Yeah, no, you have a good yeah, and I noticed that when I was in your what do they call them, timelines? Yeah, I noticed. I went down. I was like, yeah, no, this kid does all right. All his tweets get a lot of retweets because you don't waste your time with putting out a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, I just like to speak my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of try to be real. You know what I mean? I don't kind of try to bullshit.
And I appreciate this, and every now and then you throw something political and that really, ticks you off or something, you know what I mean? But if you're going to want to approach it as like in a boxing, I went on to Twitter to talk boxing. The reason I'm not on Twitter so much anymore because I can't get away from the politics and the fucking telling me that I suck. Every fucking, not me and, myself, but being a white man.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I haven't done boxing videos because I've been on politics like crazy. But this is the only platform, BDA and Bucho, where I can get my boxing fix out the way. You know what I'm saying? Right now I've been so focused on all the politics, the world politics that are so hypocritical, but a must watch at the same time.
Is that Ortiz or Gasco, whatever that Democratic socialist that one? I mean, she had a nice ass. I mean, I'd hate fuck her, but I mean, I wouldn't put her in office.
Ocasio, you talking about
Ocasio? Cortez. Yeah,
she's over here from my city. She's terrible. Anybody vote for her, which they will, because this is New York.
14th district, right?
Yeah, the 14th district. That's the Bronx.
Yeah, she got a nice pooper, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I wouldn't put her in fucking office.
The Bronx is for people that don't know the Bronx is a shithole. Always has been.
She says, well, I don't want to go rattling off in politics, but she's full of shit. She was raised in Long Island into a wealthy family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know where she lived at? You know where she lived? You know where her family has a house? In one of the most wealthiest county, Westchester County.
Yeah, that's one of the wealthy in the country, not just New York, in the country.
The country, yeah.
And she said she grew up on the fucking, you know what I mean? She said she grew up in the Bronx. So how the fucking just right there?
Yeah, Westchester is really the Bronx. Westchester is not the Bronx. Okay, it's a total different world. All right, the Bronx
I'm like J-Lo.
And Westchester is share a borderline. That's all they do.
Yeah, they're gonna lie. It's like Obama. They try to portray Obama as like he's from the ghetto or something. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the first black president. Give me a break. That dude is black as I am.
He's
no, seriously. That's fucking. Oh, hello. How you doing? Oh, I mean, come on. That dude's stiff, no-assed motherfucker. Seriously, I bet you I can dance better than him.
Yeah.
No, he was.
He was a joke. All right, guys. Something about boxing here. So, there's rumors that Pac-Man will fight Adrian Broner in the lead up to the Mayweather rematch. So, if that is true, then who would Floyd fight before the rematch?
Khabib.
Robert Guerrero.
He's gonna fight another young, undefeated Young Hungry Lion and Khabib. That's who he's fighting.
Oh God!
Listen,
No
you
way.
guys could be a hater all you want. He's undefeated.
You know what?
Oh,
I think you noticed my sarcasm, right? But he is, but he is undefeated. So there's nothing you guys can say.
Yeah, he's undefeated. So
yeah, but he can't
like
even
Conor
box
McGregor.
even a little, right?
No.
That kid Khabib, he's not a boxer at all.
He's still trying.
No, but I'm saying, like, how would he be able to fight Mayweather?
I would not be surprised if he fought Alexander, because for years he was mentioning Alexander just the same way he will. They were looking to put him against Berto for years. You remember those fights Berto lost. If he was to win them, he would probably get the Mayweather shot. So I would not be surprised if same happened with Devon Alexander. I even don't know if he's still boxing or not.
Yeah, he is, man. Yeah, I'll tweet him the other day.
It'll be funny if Devon Alexander fucking outboxes Floyd.
It's unbelievable. We got kids here like
too, man.
It's great. We got guys like this dude right here who teaches himself, or whether school or whatever, learns English, and he's living in Europe. And we got professional champions who've been here. What? Lara's been here 9 years. Can't speak a lick.
down.
And then he claims it's racism why he's not popular.
Oh.
And the thing is,
Jesus
Spanish and
fucking
English
Christ.
is pretty. I don't know where official scorecard. I'm sorry. Where are you from again? What do you speak?
Well, I'm from. No, I'm in fact from Serbia, but I live in France for like it's been 12. Well, since 2004, I've been living in Paris, but I'm from Serbia, and I don't even speak French that well.
Were you in France? You were in France, and when all the terrorist attacks were happening in Paris, then, no?
Sorry?
You were in Paris when what was it? Was it last year or the year before that? Those terrorist attacks in Paris, or the shootings and stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I mean,
well, you got no-go zones there and shit. But listen, didn't you? If you came from Serbia, were you around during the Milosevic craziness?
Yeah, man. But the thing, look, I don't want to get too much into it, but the way it was interpreted, sure. See, first of all, I like know many guys, many Croatians, Muslims, so I'm cool with them. But the thing is, the reason a lot of Serbian guys are so prideful and so nationalistic is also because the media, the Western media, was like showing just our side, like portraying Serbians like they did all the bad things, while the bad things happen.
Everybody was doing, yeah. Everybody was doing bad shit. Everybody was fucking. Yeah, you can't believe. I even knew it then. You can't believe it. Just they just didn't have the connections. They have to. There's always got to be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and you see that's why we've been hating CNN since the 90s. All the Yugoslavian war, plus with Albanians and all that. Some things that they were like talking crazy shit. There was like far could not be further from the truth. So that's it. But yeah, here in Paris, even today, when they hear I'm from Serbia, they have in their head all those news they heard from their own reporters, media houses, and CNN. So
yeah, we know that Western media propaganda pushing Kosovo and stuff. But anyways. Let's get back to boxing here, because we're gonna get.
Is good, man.
Thank you, man.
No, it's very good because most people who've been living here all their lives, and like Spanish speaking, they come from Spanish speaking countries. Some of them never learn how to speak English at all.
Well, yeah, and that's what I hate with immigrants. I mean, even the Serbians here in France, I'm like, if they're not trying to get integrated into society, I'm like, what the fuck you're doing, guys? That's why I became so conservative and so right wing oriented in those last couple of years because
you have a brain. Because you have a brain.
Yeah, thank you. But you see a lot of people. It's the same shit, and that's the question I wanted to ask you guys from the USA. So I cannot stand the immigrants here who are just coming to ask for free shit and everything, and always trying to get something out of the country they came to, even though they hate it or they dislike it. So my question to you guys is, seeing what's happening here in Europe and Paris, France, it got me scared. So my plan is like, I would like to move one day with my girlfriend to the USA in the next 10-15 years. So for all you guys from the US that have been to Europe recently, is it really what's the situation? Are you more feeling more secure than in Europe? Because at least for now, it's not that bad for me. But like seeing how extreme liberal oriented many people are here. I'm really scared for the future of the Western Europe countries. So I'm looking forward to moving to the US.
Nice. I hope you come, brother.
Well, but do you think, do you guys agree that it's beside the shit from the liberals, extreme liberals you're getting there in the US, it's still better situation than in Europe, right?
If Hillary was in office right now, Merkel's march that's pumping in Muslims from sub-Saharan, Africa and fucking.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Sorry. Oh, they dropped. Yeah. Anyways, we're getting full on political here. But to answer Boxing Scorecard's question, I live in Canada, and I feel fucking safe over here. We don't have. There's immigrants, but it seems like I'm an immigrant, and I've been here for fucking 20 years, and I have a lot of Muslim friends, but they all integrate. It's very rare that you see the type of immigrants that you have in Europe over here in Canada. Over here they integrate, but Trudeau is actually, I don't know, since it's been a few years, the borders are wide open, and there's a lot of refugees coming in. There were so many refugees that they put him in the Olympic Stadium. There were some Haitians. They put him in the Olympic Stadium for a while. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, how did they manage to get in? Like, anyways.
Yeah, guys, I've got to shoot, guys. I've got to do an interview with the Russian that I'll put on Twitter at 1:30. So I've got to shoot and get ready for that. So have a good evening.
All right, excellent. All right. Good luck, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Peace,
we'll listen to the interview.
Easy, man.
Speaking of Canada, what about that Quebec lady, the lady from Quebec, Mr. Trudeau, what about that money? And then the fucking Mountie twisted her arm and pulled her away just for talking to him, and the woman he called a racist. That was insane. Couldn't believe that. She was just asking, what about the fucking $1 billion we're paying for your, immigration? And he said, because he didn't have an answer for him, because he's just, got nothing to say but fucking slogans and race, his
There's double
ideology.
Standards here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. No, he's a great guy, but he did call her a racist, the grandmother, and have her arm bent by the fucking Mounties and pulled her away.
That's what great guys do. They accuse people of, racism when they hit with a question they can't answer.
It's insane.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get. I could go on and on about Canadian politics, but I love Trudeau, so I'm not gonna say anything.
We all love Trudeau. We all love Trudeau.
Yeah.
But to official scorecards question, from the way I understand it, America is not as bad as what's happening in Europe, especially in Western Europe, right? Eastern Europe, they have their own issues, but most of
Hungary said no. Hungary said no. You can't come in, right?
in Eastern Europe, they don't have a immigration problem. They don't really. Not most of the countries, they don't have it.
Yeah, but they have the other kind of problem, the economic problems. So yeah, I even started. I started learning the fourth language, the Japanese. So I'm thinking also about moving there. Fuck.
Do you follow Douglas Murray? Do you ever listen to him? Douglas Murray. He's a British writer. Douglas Murray. He's a British writer and like an expert on this whole Western Europe, the Muslim situation, migration. He's excellent. He's an English writer. But anyways, Google him after and watch his videos. You'll really appreciate it. I don't want to BD. I don't want him to go off in any kind of politics. But
yeah. Oh well. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Charles Murray.
Also, Douglas Murray. Okay,
Douglas Murray. I'm sorry. Yeah, Douglas Murray. Yeah.
Okay, so great. I'm going to look it up right now. And sorry, Bucho BDN and all the guys for the political topics. I just had that question. I had to ask.
We do it all the time here. We switch from boxing to politics. That's BDA boxing. That's why we're different.
You should put BDA boxing and politics. That's what you should.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't even mix.
Well, if you think about it, it kind of does. But
I was saying that Canadians are more laid back and friendly. I would say less pissed off because there's some social benefits. I mean, you get free healthcare.
Hey, can I tell you something though about Canadian government? I started watching the Parliament sessions. That's some fucking funny shit, bro.
Yeah, it's a British style.
One guy stands up, right? He just parades them, and then just like the football game. And then the Prime Minister stands up, and he just starts spouting propaganda. His party stands up and starts clapping. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I must have watched like an hour of it last night.
Childish. It's the British government is even worse though. They actually yell even more, believe it or not. But in the Canadian Parliament, yeah, that's the style of. I mean, that's the culture, man. You yell and stuff, and you clap.
I never saw it. I just happened. I just wanted to read up more about trust. And they said one of those videos he gets burnt, and they asked him like 31 times how many times did he meet with the ethics committee, and he had to keep standing up and just instead of answering the question, he had to give some propaganda line. It was just crazy, man. The cheering was nuts. I had no idea it was like that.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, man, if you think about it. By the way, there was
this... you didn't get nothing accomplished, that's for sure.
No, that's what I always say. I think nothing gets accomplished. It turns people away, actually, I think. Nobody wants to watch that because they're like, oh, there you go. Those are the politicians we elect. They're just yelling and clapping. And
there's so much visceral hatred. There's so much animosity that nobody wants to give an inch. And the thing is, then the only people who suffer are the Canadian people.
Yeah.
But sucks.
Somebody
Same
actually
thing here too. Same thing with the right and left. The only reason why Trump's getting all the stuff done is because he controls the House and Senate.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't feel comfortable when that's why you have checks and balances. I mean, like,
yeah. You see, the thing about over here in America is that the left, and I agree with you. I much rather like checks and balances where it's like pretty even. But the thing about the left is that they're so far to the left now that they're communists now. They're like straight up communists.
You're not kidding, dude.
If they don't get their way, they want to fight you. They want to
they're kicking women. Right? They're kicking women. They're kicking phones out of women's hands. They're smashing signs out of old people's arms and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you feel that...
It's becoming a problem. It's actually becoming a problem where, I mean, look, I'm not on the Trump bandwagon, although I do think he's better than Hillary, right? But
I am. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared when he first was. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I was scared when he first was elected. I woke up saying, "Oh my God, he won." I was nervous for a day, and I sat back instead of letting my fucking head follow the news. Dude, 2 years into it, I love this guy. I've seen the financial difference. It's affected my family. I've seen the job lows, right? So I'm just saying. I started out. Believe me, I wasn't a Trump guy at all. I was actually afraid. Now I'm Trump all day.
I was afraid because I thought he was gonna be taken out. And he was gonna create chaos, because I'm like, they're never gonna allow a guy like Trump become president, even though of course his powers are very limited, because not because of the Constitution, but because there's other entities, the banking system and all that. They're always, putting you in check, right? And I thought like Trump's not gonna be able to get anything done, and I'm like, they're not even gonna allow him to become president. And even if he wins as president, he's gonna be taken out. You know what I mean, right? So.
Right. Yeah,
and that was going to create chaos, but they actually didn't go that route, that JF Kennedy route. They're trying to slander him right now and make him lose credibility. They're trying to impeach him. That didn't work. So
what they're trying to do is undermine everything he's doing, right? So like the whole Kavanaugh situation, the judge that he nominated. You see, the guy was pretty. Look, I'm not saying that he's clean in terms of politics. When it comes to politics, he's pretty clean in terms of like dirt in their closet. So they had to come up with some crazy story that happened 37 years ago.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It didn't work, right? But this is like just dirty communist tricks.
It's disgusting.
It starts off with rumors, and then they try to make it, a real thing, and make the American people actually discuss whether or not a guy has either the credentials, or him when he was 17, he may have harassed a girl, felt her body up or whatever, against her will. I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but what I'm saying is he was 17. How come it wasn't reported back then? How come she doesn't have anybody that remembers?
How about she gave 4 witnesses, her witnesses, and all 4 of them, right? And all 4 of them said no.
Yeah.
In fact, and now we're finding out she was approached by that FBI agent who was taught to beat the box by Ford, who said she never took one, and visited that woman and was told, and she actually was told to revisit her testimony.
Yeah,
think about that. So, dude, that's all fucked up. It was a scam, but whatever. You know what? And I look at this: the fucking unemployment, the lowest in 50 years. GPA, fucking. Remember when Obama said that 2 is the new average? He's up over 4. This guy's crushing it. Look at his numbers. Listen. He wants to, like, you know what? I'll tell you this, and I'll end politics on this note. For me, Katie Hopkins said it the best, right? The British right-wing conservative. She said, "Listen, everybody's all upset because he said he grabbed the pussy 9 years before he was in office." I'll tell you this, I'd rather have somebody grab my pussy than the country to continue to be run by one.
Yeah.
And that's my point. I don't give a fuck what this dude tweets or what he says. He's a businessman. He was never in politics. He's not stained. So he didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, politics is a dirty business, right? It's all under backroom deals. He came in and he didn't have any affiliations. And nobody owed nothing. He financed himself. He came in and he said, this is what I want to do. The fact that he's been able to do it while people in his own administration is trying to cut his balls off, you got to respect the dude. He's daft as hell. Right? He's a stand-up comedian, but I don't care what he says. It's what he does. All right, I'll end it there. I'm sorry.
No, and I was going to say, I totally agree with you on that. Look, again, like I said, I'm not on the Trump bandwagon. No way. I don't. What I mean by that is that I don't give him. I don't say, look, he's not capable of. Because there's some shaky things about him. There's some foreign politics that lean to a certain group that he's always caving into. I'll just leave it at that. But in terms of
you don't like the Jews, brother.
Yeah, of course. I just don't want to say it on YouTube. So far, he's proven to me to when it comes to that he's on Zog's team, right? In any event, he in terms of like what you were saying, Jimmy, is so true. Like I work for myself. I have my own business. His tax cut so far, I'm going to say so far, has paid off. It's allowed me to keep doing business, and I'm doing better. I'm doing better now.
Well, let me pose to you a question. Apologize, right? So you're the president. No, seriously, this is a direct question. Knowing your feelings towards that particular country, let me ask you: if you were the president, and you know, and anybody's kidding themselves if they try to say, you know, Islam isn't the Islam extremist isn't the most dangerous thing facing the United States right now, security. That's without a doubt. That's no question. So now, if you had the best mini-state police department with crazy military force, which would be the first, line of defense. Now, I'm asking you, as president, wouldn't you obviously suck? To me, I'm just saying, I would suck up to them. You want them in your camp. They're surrounded by your most biggest enemy.
Well, yeah, you see, I understand your point. Like, look, when it comes to them, it's career suicide. We know that the most privileged class is, and I don't mean the regular Jew, okay? Even though if you do say anti-Semitic things, you would be outcast from all time. It may not even be anti-Semitic. It just may be you questioning it in a very truthful, in a very, in their case, hurt their feelings kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But if you are labeled a anti-Semite, it's like the worst thing, right? I understand what you're saying. Me personally, I could never be a politician. I would never want to be a politician.
Couldn't sell your soul, right?
because number one, I would never feel comfortable personally. I would never feel comfortable serving the best interests of another country. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that. So.
Right? Hey, man, you stand by your morals, your principles. That's cool.
By the way, anyways, I don't want to get into it.
What?
You really think that Islam is the most dangerous thing for the U.S.? Like, Islam?
Well, I know without a doubt. Extremists. Now, think about. I'm not talking about World War IV. I'm talking World War III, rather. I'm talking about another plane into towers, a dirty bomb, maybe, God forbid. You know what I mean? Anthrax
I don't think
spread.
9/11. Do you think it was Muslims who did that?
What's that? 9/11?
Yeah.
No, I think that, well, wasn't that there was some Scientologists who were pissed off about John Travolta touching their bum.
No, but like, I don't know. I don't want to get into 9/11, but just look at Building 7. Building 7 just makes me question that whole fucking thing. Building 7 is just weird.
There's more to it than just that. All you gotta do is look at who benefits.
Exactly.
From that.
We bono, man. Who benefits? That's a question you always have to ask yourselves. And by the way, all these ISIS and Muslims chopping off heads, like these terrorist groups in the Middle East, that we see all these pictures and we go like, oh, what if they make it all the way over here? Listen, they won't make it all the way over here. They're not supposed to make it over here. They're supposed to be in the Middle East and fuck up Syria, Iran, and all these other countries that are enemies of Saudi Arabia. Why? How come you don't see ISIS attacking Israel? How come you don't see ISIS attacking Saudi Arabia? Because those countries that I just mentioned are U.S. allies.
You want to go there, right?
I'm not gonna go there, but I'm just saying. Listen, we understand this shit. ISIS is very scary, but trust me, they're not gonna show up over here. Okay, they would have already put bombs in the shopping center or anything. Well, it's so easy to do. How come we haven't had any fucking attacks? We haven't had anything since 9/11.
No,
Again, the shoe bomber, fuck, that shit was.
ISIS would be taken out by the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy, man.
If you go by what they do is even the imams, the head of the church said they can't call ISIS heretics because they actually didn't go against the Quran. Everything they did falls in line with the Quran. And part of the Quran says the flag of Caliphate will fly over Rome, the great city of Rome.
Yeah.
And right now, there's no-go zones in fucking Sweden, Norway, Britain, Germany. I mean, you literally can't go in those neighborhoods. They'll literally, and the imams are picking the police who, the ones who, watch the neighborhoods. The imams, the ones who tell, in their Muslim cops. It's insane. So they're all, and because they don't want to assimilate, I don't know that way, but listen, that's without a doubt our worst. Because the more we let in, and if they're unfettered and we don't see their paperwork, which is hard, then you don't know. And how do you know? They could be working on something horrific. I hate the fact that they go out, women and children die. Attack military. That's all. That's my only thing. Just go after military targets.
I think the U.S. should like blame their government for spending $500 billion a year. That's a military budget, $500 billion. And then they complain that they don't have fucking healthcare, they don't have proper schools, but nobody says shit. Because the military, you can't see. That's the thing in the U.S. You can't say anything negative about the military or soldiers because he served the country. What the hell did you guys like? Seriously, man, like Vietnam, Iraq, all these special operations that are happening in Africa. A few soldiers died there in Mali or some shit. Like, what the hell are you guys doing there?
You better watch out, man. We're gonna declare war on Canada.
But that's the thing. It's all a fucking hoax, man. It's a military-industrial complex that you're fucking feeding, man, with your own lives and money and taxes. And then Israel gets how many fucking billions of dollars for F-35s now? They're gonna get a bunch of shit because Russia put some S-300 anti-aircraft missiles, and so now the U.S. is giving even more money to Israel. And what the fuck? Where's the money? Why all American schools are boarded up and shit? Why is Chicago a piece of shit? Come on, and then we're gonna blame like other people for this. Like, listen, man, I'm not gonna get into this shit. It's so ridiculous, man. So ridiculous. This is what happens when you just let a fucking corrupt government run loose, man. And then now, it's unfortunate, but now the American people are gonna get affected. Before all this shit was happening around them, but now it's coming to them, man. And now that's why you have now this division, this panic. Now you have like the left against the right, and that's what happens when a society starts to break down. Look at the Weimar Republic, the Germans. Right before right before Hitler took power, it was a whole fucking mess. It wasn't only like fascist groups that you had like communist groups, you had extremists. The country was completely divided, and that's why Hitler was he was able to take over, because they wanted somebody that would provide stability. And that's what's going to happen in the U.S. It's completely divided. Racial lines, left and right, the right-wing paradigm. People are going to fucking seek somebody who's going to bring order. And that's when it's all going to be over, man.
I'll tell you, brother, you can't be, you've never been more right. Everything you just said, you are paying attention, brother, because you're actually echoing some of the smartest Dr. Peterson saying that. Shapiro said it, Weinstein, some of the smartest people on the intellectual dark web said the exact same thing, almost word to word. You said your way, but without a doubt, brother. No, that's awesome, dude. You definitely been paying attention. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said.
Yeah, it's like some people said, like, well, we just close the borders and going to be fine. No, you're not, because the fucking killers are inside in your house. They're in your house.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
They're in control of everything. They're in control of the kitchen. They're in control of the
maniacs attacking old people than I am against right now Muslims, without a doubt. This is crazy.
You have a satanic government. Anyways, I don't think you get into that shit, but like, you're not gonna fix the problem just closing a border and like bombing other countries. No, seriously, you're not gonna fix anything, man.
Right now, right now, it's gonna take way more than that. What America is facing right now, and I think this is by design, is the threat of a civil war. That's very close to happening. And they're gonna use race. They're gonna maybe use race and gender. And they will be a particular target. The particular target is always the majority, and the majority of a country, that would be the target, because they want to change how politics is run in America.
No, without a doubt. Even on an advertisement for the fucking AMAs, American Music Awards, you know what I mean? They just ranted on. It's just constantly everything on the news. It's exactly. Listen, fucking Fidel Castro, I know they like to fucking make him seem like this great battles, but he even said, the worst battle he was in, 28 men died, in an actual fight. He murdered a ton of people. But he actually, when he went to New York and he visited the offices of the New York Times, and they published it, and they were such leftist even then in the 50s. In 1959, they wrote he said, if it wasn't for it was the AK-47 in the New York Times, I wouldn't have been able to take over Cuba, because they gave him such good press, and the country turned their back on Batista. So the news can definitely. So you're 100% right. That's more to your point, BDA. They control the narrative, right? They control the way some people think. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous time.
If you look at who controls the media, especially over here in America, you will see that there is a certain agenda that benefits certain people, not for the reasons that most people think it is. It's part of the old
because
the old battle since the beginning in time.
But what scares me, Trump is
versus secret society versus the church.
And what scares me though, Trump's an egomaniac. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously an egomaniac, so I don't think he'd let go of power. He's the type of dude who would fucking say, "It's time to arm up, guys. It's time to fight." You know what I mean? Like, I can actually see that mental case tweeting that out at 2:00 in the morning. Arm up. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's going on? But nah, dude, it's fucking scary. But I'll tell you the difference. I'm not a conservative. I'm more libertarian, because the reason why I want walls on the border, except Canada, it's not because I have anything against those people. Like, you can tell the difference between a conservative and a libertarian. A conservative will say, put up a border, we could use that money for military. I say, put up the border, we can use the money that we'd spend on illegals on the poor that's already here, that needs services, that, like you said, needs schools, the infrastructure, the fucking highways are falling apart, the bridges are falling apart.
That's not part of the plan.
Let's take care of our own. That's all.
That's not part of the plan.
I don't care where you're from. I don't care who you marry. I don't care if you want to chop your junk off. Just fucking, we can take care of our own. We can't keep on taking in the world's problems. And if this country's so bad, why is everybody cutting their arm off to come here?
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever you have, listen, I always say this, whenever you have a bunch of people coming into any country and criticizing your country while coming here, that is called an invasion. That's exactly what that is.
That's an excellent point. Well put.
Yeah, I don't care who they are. I don't care.
I like that. I like that. That's excellent. That's actually a good quote.
They're pointing the finger at you while coming here. Okay, while coming here. That is invasion, and yes, you should take that personal.
That's an excellent quote.
I think they want to bring like uneducated people because they're gonna be more easily manipulated. Because you just give them a piece of bread and like a shitty job, and they're gonna be happy, or maybe not even a job. But people who have been living in Western countries would have obtained higher education, and I'm not saying degree. I'm saying just higher education in general, because you're living in a first world country. You understand your rights, and you understand what's. You still have a connection to the past where things were more free, where the governments weren't that corrupt. Let's just put it that way. I'm explaining all shit here, but what I'm saying is that you're gonna bring all these poor people who are coming from dictatorships and shitty countries. They're not gonna complain here. They're happy just to be in Western countries, and so then the governments over here is just gonna they're gonna become basically third world country governments. That's what they want. They want the whole world to become a third world country.
One big NGO.
Exactly.
Well, because
so
if you look at the way the third world countries are handled, they look at it from that aspect, and they say, man, if America could be a third world country, man, we would be able to control it.
Exactly.
In that
exactly.
way. But
that's
it
it.
would never
man.
happen. America's just too big for that to happen.
Yeah, it's like you come from a country where like the cops can just show up, or the military, and fucking bust through your door. You're gonna be like, okay, officer, go inside, like, because it's normal to them. And that's what they're slowly but surely they're gonna attain that point where the next generations won't even remember how the past was, and so they will accept the future or whatever they are told, because for them it's normal, man. Just the cops busting through your door, arresting you for no reason. And with that technology that they fucking have now, I mean, I'm telling you, we might not even be able to go back to where we were. It's gonna be full on control, and there's no way back, man. Absolutely no way back. It's gonna be over, man.
You know what the scary
dude, you're giving me a panic attack, dude. Swear to God, man. Listen, I'm getting a panic attack.
This is what a professor said, man. He was fucking right, man.
The scary thing, Mucho, about that is that America is turning into this where, like you said, okay, where in these third world countries they'll just barge in, the cops will just barge in, the authorities will just barge into your house and nobody can do anything. In America, it's almost like that. It's almost like that. What they're doing is that with the media, of course, with the media, they destroy you before they if you're somebody that they feel is a threat. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they destroy you before they do that. So when it comes time to take you out, the masses will believe. Look, your best case scenario is that 50% of the people are going to believe you, and 50% of the population is not going to believe you, right? So that's still 50%, 50%. It's enough for the time it comes to take you out, make you disappear. That 50% of the population is not going to care where you're at.
You know what? Like Dr. Pearson says it all the time. He says, and what's the dangerous part? It's so divided by the left, who's so anti-gun. None of them, probably 99.9%, don't own guns, against the group who's the most heavily armed citizens on the world. I mean, the fucking right is crazily. I mean, you go down to states like Tennessee, those fucking clowns got full automatic 50 cals tacked onto their Jeep, and they go out shooting hogs at night. You know what I mean? Shit could get ugly, man. I'm seriously, Bucho, I'm getting a fucking panic attack. Listen to you, dude. You're firing me all up.
Yeah. I don't think the left is going to be shot by the right. But you mentioned a good point that the Americans are, I mean, they're armed to the teeth, and the government doesn't. I mean, they are kind of scared of this. That's for sure. That's a guarantee, man. And every time you have militias, in the U.S., and that's legal. You're allowed to have militias. Dude, they're observed by the FBI fucking close, man. Like, they're always watching these people, man, because they are afraid of it. They're afraid of veterans as well. Veterans are very dangerous, man. They're on the top of the list. Angry fucking veterans, man.
I got 5 brothers, right, and a sister, and I'm the least armed of my brothers, and I get an assault rifle, a 308, which is a 5-shot fucking hunting rifle. I got my girlfriend's got a Sig Sauer 40, which is a cute little kind of shit, but it's a 40 cal, and I get a 357 Magnum Trooper MK3 nickel plate with a walnut handle. It's in the case. Which will fucking go through a school. You know what I mean? And I'm the least armed of my brothers.
Yeah, Jesus. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, dude.
I'm the least, out of all my brothers, I'm the least qualified to be armed. I'm always ready. Let's just put it that way.
Are you saying that boxing style cannot just go into your house uninvited?
You ever seen American X History?
American History X.
Okay, you ever saw the scene when the guy tries to come in?
Yeah.
Anybody, if I catch them, that's how it ends.
Curbing. Oh.
Curbing, man. Fuck.
But if I catch you, that's how it's going to end.
Fucking gross.
Oh, yep, no, that's right, hon. She said, "Oh, you forgot the shotgun. I got a shotgun too. That's just a room clearer." Because I told her if anybody comes in the house, seriously, because after 5 feet, when it's got buckshot, it has such a big radius. I said, put it in your hip and just keep fucking hammering the fucking. Seriously, because most gunfights happen within 10 feet. And I told her that's the weapon I wanted to grab. And because it's grandfathered, I got it before 1991. It was my father's. It's got a handle, because now you can't buy shotguns that actually have a pistol grip anymore. This one has a pistol grip, so.
I have a butter knife.
Hey, listen, man. Knives and all that stuff, if you know how to use it, man, they're very deadly in a situation where you might have to use your hands to fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna practice like throwing them on a target.
Look, Canadians, you guys are armed like motherfuckers up there too. All you guys get packing.
In Canada, no.
Pistols, right?
In the woods, you can. Yeah, if you live in rural areas, you're allowed to have like a rifle, but there's so many regulations on that. It's crazy. I could have a gun.
The reason why the left is so crazy in America to get rid of guns, the communists. Let's just call them what they are at this point. And I think Jimmy would agree with me that the left
100%
are communists now. Now the reason why is because you can fight back. It's just as simple as that. It's as simple. You can fight back. Right? That's why they're coming up with so much. They're coming up with so many double standards. Look at Twitter, for example. A certain group of people can insult and make all types of comments, right? I'm going to give you an example, a quick one, where I can just rat off and say any racist comment I want, but another group points out the double standard and say, what if I said that about the opposite group? They get banned just for pointing it out. What is that called? That's called if you fight back, it's illegal.
Well, if the plan is reversed.
In other words, if I told Jimmy, right, I sent a bunch of guys to fight Jimmy, and I send them. There's video evidence of guys invading Jimmy's apartment, house, whatever, and Jimmy takes them out. But Jimmy's the one that gets arrested. What am I telling Jimmy? What am I saying? I'm saying that it's illegal for you to fight back. That's basically what I'm telling you. Right?
Well,
and so that's the reason why they're trying that, is because they can't take the guns away. That's why.
But first they take our voices away. Yeah, first they take the speech away, and that's what I mean by communist. These are communist tactics. I'm not saying these are a communist party. They're still calling themselves Democrats. Tactics, yeah. It's all communist tactics. It's divide. You take away speech. You make mob them, and then the identity politics. It's crazy. Every time I turn on TV, even the new sitcom with that fucking Cecil or whoever, the comedian, the black comedian, the white family moves next door, and the whole premise of the TV show is making fun of the white family. It's fucking so it's stupid. It's it's what it is. It's fucking MTV. White people need to apologize. I don't apologize for shit. I ain't apologizing to dead people that my fucking ancestors didn't own. Suck it out. You can suck my apology out of my nuts.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's all. It's very complex. Like the left, also, like for example, the Democrats, they wanna be the voice of the left just because they know it's popular and they're gonna have all their votes. That's what they're doing, and they control the media. And look at who runs Hollywood.
I don't trust the right in America. Also, I just want to be clear on that.
Let me just be clear. I don't trust none of you motherfuckers.
I don't trust.
Yeah, but like I always try to be careful between left and right, because I mean, what's the right as well? I mean, what Pat Robertson was his name? That fucking evangelical fucker. I mean,
well, you're right, but it has changed, BDA. I mean, Bucho, you got to admit it has like changed, because I was always a Democrat my whole life because they were kind of anti-establishment. Now they're the ones fighting for the NGOs because that's the No Border, George Soros. It's all big NGO corporate companies. So now the left's doing that. The left is fighting for free speech. I mean, trying to block free speech. College kids used to protest because you remember the whole thing. I might hate what you say, but I'll fucking defend your right to say it.
That's out the window
still to this day. You know what I mean? And it's
but now the left claims that they become with these ridiculous things where like, oh, how can you let a fascist speak his mind? Because a fascist, he's just gonna spew hate. You can't allow him to speak. You're gonna punch him. He's like, because they painted.
I trust the fascist more than I trust the communist any day.
And
no, man. Listen, the thing is, there's no such thing as fascist. Well, there are fascists, but there's no fascists like in Mussolini, Hitler type of fascists here. I mean, you have right wingers, but you don't have fascists. Fascists want like what?
You need to label. It's just labeled.
It's a label.
You don't have a platform because what's the DNC's platform? I'm waiting to hear it. Besides, I hate Trump and all these other labels, or all the other shit they label us. But other than that, they haven't said nothing. So that when you don't have nothing to offer, you have to come at you some way, and it's through hysteria. Listen, I'm with you, Bucho. Listen, some crazy, creepy shit goes up and fucking. I know that, but I'm saying right now, my family's safer under the right. I know the fucking unemployment's going down under the right. I know under Obama, nothing was getting better. In fact, race relationships, I'd never seen them this bad in my life. So I didn't want to continue. And Hillary's even worse. It would have been horrible. Mm-hmm. So now I'm glad for that. But
let me tell you something, man. The left, it's you can also tell that it's created by design and it's manipulated, and they don't have a voice of their own. And they have commands that come from the top. Because the left, this fake new left, whatever you want to call it, they're worried about gender relations and how having transgenders, like men use women's bathroom and all this crap that really you're going to focus on stuff like that instead of focusing on like peace.
Serious problems.
Like focusing on world peace and reducing the military fucking budget that's overblown. But no, they're not gonna talk about those issues because those issues are gonna hurt the ones that are on top. So this fake left is focusing on marginal peripheral issues that nobody even gave a shit about. Like, if you look at the hippie
people,
movement,
nothing against them, but they're less than 1% of the U.S. population. How did this whole country get so tied up in this
the media,
tiny little minority?
I don't think. I don't know if it's 1%, man. I think it's more than that, man.
I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, I could be wrong.
No, it's a little less than 2% of the population. It's like 1.
Well, that's still that's a small.
Are you talking about what?
To your point, that's a very small amount to have so much energy and time. Imagine if you can start saying,
if they're well organized.
But you have to, and by law, you have to say, okay, you're a woman. Then what's to stop a guy to say, okay, I'm a fucking 9-year-old girl?
Oh, you're talking about. Yeah. You're talking about transgenders. Yeah. But I'm thinking about the issues that the left focuses on are not important issues. Really, they're really not that important, man. And sometimes they exaggerate certain issues that exist, like racial issues. Obviously, there is racial issues, but they overblow it and they make it as like it's something that's out of control, which is not. It's really not.
Well,
but the media is helping.
Every minority just they make the useful idiots out of them, and that's why they get on my nerves so much, because they don't see they're just being used by the left or by the communists. And talking about communism, believe me, you in America haven't seen the best part of it, the worst part of it, because you see Yugoslavia, Serbia, it was under the communism until the 80s, 90s. So, and all the Eastern Europe. So we remember still very well how bad it was. There's a lot of examples, small examples that I heard from my grandparents. Like for example, up till this day, my grandparents in Serbia, when they're doing their religious things, because in Serbia we are all Orthodox Christians, they have to turn the light off and put the blankets on their windows, because they got so used to do it during the communism, because that under the communism they had no right to do it. Another thing, the mother of my mother, she grew up in a rather rich household. They had a lot of they were agricultures. So but then the communists came and they took all the land from them, and from like the age of 10, my grandma and her family was like but really extremely poor, and to this day she's afraid if she's going to have enough of money to survive, etc. And they were even put, you know what they were doing during the 60s, 70s and 80s. They were like they would come to your house, and if they judged that you have too much of space in your house, they had right to put the other people come to live inside your house, and you had no right to say whatever.
No, I remember when Yugoslavia was communist.
Who the fuck could live under that? Can you imagine that shit? And these admirers of communism here in America is sickening. Imagine that. Like,
killed more people.
You have too much space in your house. I'm gonna put somebody you don't know to live with you.
Well, yeah. Wrap your head around that. You got Antifa kids screaming, "Down with the KKK, no fascists in the USA." Well, they're carrying communist sickle and hammers.
Oh, but
that communism killed over 100 million people worldwide. And they say capitalism killed. Yes, it did. Capitalism has killed. But at the end of the day, it's also created the wealthiest, best society that's spread wealth and prosperity.
That's exactly what Roger Peterson said. Sorry for cutting you.
And when communism fell, what did it leave? Nothing but Chernobyl, that every country around the world had to donate hundreds of millions of dollars to cover with that thing, because at the end of the day, there was nobody owned it. Well, that belonged to the Soviet Union. It was leaking. It was a disaster. When they finally died after killing over 100 million people, it was a fucking nothing. It was a shithole that had to be torn down.
You know what's funny?
I don't want to sound like a communist.
One of the greatest books I ever read was by Karl Marx.
What?
Marxism.
Yeah, you're
okay. One of the greatest, because it's still, when I read it, it left a lot on. It left a lot of on like questions unanswered for me, right? So it allowed me to meet somebody that was really good, somebody from my area, somebody that was really good with explaining communism and all these, you know, these Marxist governments, and explaining what it means. What does it really mean? And so he broke it down, right? And I'm gonna give you my best interpretation of what he was telling me. What he told me was, do you understand why communism is attractive to certain people? And I was like, what do you no, why? He goes, do you understand that?
Sorry, cannot hear you.
You're breaking up.
I can't hear him either. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recognize you broke off or whatever.
But
you're
yeah,
gone.
no,
You're gone. In the chat, Neto says, "Man, you guys need to drink a beer and chill out. Jimmy sounds wound up."
No, I just fired up because I remember communism. See, that's the thing. I'm old enough to remember the horror shows.
Yeah.
They have to watching the hockey team come to play, and they wouldn't even cheer. It was terrible. They had fucking guys in suits behind the bench playing U-Law so nobody would defect. I mean, imagine having to send people to make sure nobody runs.
Economically, communism is a piece of garbage. Economically, it doesn't work. You can't have like the government control the economy. It doesn't. Look at China. They started diversifying. They started to create semi-government private companies because they knew it's the best way to generate innovation and wealth.
Capitalism, exactly. They have to open up the books a little.
However, I have to say that there's a lot of capitalist countries in the world, and most of them are garbage and shit. I'm not a communist. I'd rather live in a capitalist country, but I'm just saying that capitalism isn't as good as it. And if you look at the U.S., look at like the amount of wealth that is in how like in a few 0.5% of the people control like what? How much of the country? 80% or some crazy number? Like,
yeah, and it's to your point too, though. Look at the poorest people in this country, and even the poorest people in this country usually have AC and 2-color TVs right in the car. That's better than the majority of the rest of the world. So yes, and I agree with you, dude. There's probably a perfect way. I know in theory, communism. You read that book, it sounds great, but
yeah, but Jimmy, you're talking about the United States of America,
human nature.
Jimmy. You're talking about the United States of America. That you're talking about the wealth that it created, but how did it like? I'll give you another example. Pick another third world country that's capitalist and it's a piece of garbage. You know what I mean? Like, did they do something different? Well, yeah, they're probably geographical locations.
Like Australia.
Yeah, Australia.
I'm saying Japan,
yeah, but this
Japan, Australia. No, listen. I agree with you, dude. I'm not fucking running down the street with signs going, "Yay, cap." I'm saying right now that's. Like what you say, it's the safest. And it is because I know that I got a roof over my head. My family's done all right. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've done all right. You sound like you're educated. You're very up on things. I'm sure you have a nice life for yourself. And it's all under the capitalist. I mean, I just know that you look at other countries.
I understand, but the thing is also, if you think like this material wealth is equals like 2 TVs and stuff, but you have no education. How come you don't have any education? No. You have... And a lot of these things are bought on credit as well. The debt is increasing. Everybody's indebted, and that's why they created credit in the 70s or something. Because the economy was collapsing. How are we gonna get more money? Well, give them some credit. Like, it's fake money. It's a bubble, and it's gonna burst. That's the thing. That's capitalism. I mean, if you believe in what Karl Marx said, there's advanced capitalism, and then at some point it breaks down. And yeah, it's been good so far for everyone, for us. Hopefully, I mean, for everyone, for us in the Western countries. But I don't know how long that's gonna last, to be honest. If it is indeed, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But if I'm right, if it's a bubble and it bursts, well, we're fucked, man. And I think that's what they're preparing. Anyways,
well, I'm coming north. I know that. I always say it.
It might be a bubble, Canada. Jimmy. That's the thing, though. It might be a fucking bubble.
Live up in the mountains.
In that, you have like 0.5% of the people in the United States, and the rich control like 90. I mean, that's capitalism. Sure, you gave us 2 TVs and give us a. I mean, post-World War, it was great. The baby boomers and stuff.
Everybody starts out. Everybody can achieve that, though. You know what I mean? And people come in and out, right? People come in and out of the 1%. Like I've been at better places financially at different points in my life. So people come in and out of the 1%. And yes, but the 1% does pay for like more than half the taxes too. And I'm not, listen, dude, trust me, I'm not no rich guy defending the rich. I'm just saying I've just been around long enough and seen every other style of government and see what usually ends up happening. They murder tons of people to keep them in line. What's up, hon? Oh shit, okay. But yeah, no, and listen, I agree with you, dude. Now, I'm a libertarian. I'm for
me too.
I hate to see bullies. I hate to see oppression. All the fights, the street fights I've been in, dude, so 99% of the time it's because somebody fucked with somebody I was with. You know what I mean? That's how, because I don't like bullies. I don't like racism. You know what I mean? And I do agree with this. I agree 100% with equal opportunity. Everybody should have an equal playing ground, but I don't believe in equality of outcome, meaning, everybody has to have, because then that takes away incentive to work. And the lazy people will be lazy, and the hard workers will end up taking care of the lazy people. In the meantime, the bureaucracy would just get, because think about it, if they went to socialism real quick, all they would do is say, okay, GE, all these big corporations, now take all these people who are working for incentivized to do better, to get more money, replace them with government employees, just bureaucrats who are just running it. Then nepotism gets in, and then all of a sudden power becomes the currency, not money, and it becomes more cliquish. And next, you know, people eating the zoo animals as your president's eating steak. So there's got to be some. I'm just glad I can sit on the phone and talk to my friends about fucking this bullshit right now. God, thank them for that. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I believe in, like, I'm a libertarian like you, somewhat. I mean, I believe in a small government, little regulations. I don't want the government meddling in my affairs, you know, in the affairs of society.
Absolutely. And then, you know, and that's the thing they call, right, Trump racist and a fascist, but yet Obama prosecuted, spied on, and fucking did more and prosecuted more whistleblowers than any president in history. You know what I'm saying? So he was like all about that shit. So it's just so funny that, you know what I mean? And you're not a Democrat. I'm not saying about you. You're like me, a libertarian, because I believe in prison reform. I don't believe in the death penalty. I believe in gay marriage. I believe in women have the right. So I don't really have many great standards, but I just don't like young kids attacking old people in the street. And if that's the left right now, you know what I mean?
They've hijacked the word left, or the term. That they hijacked it. Now that's the left, and that wasn't the left before. You know, it wasn't what is now, violence and pushing racial agendas, because they are creating what Carnival. I believe Santa Claus says Butch. Sorry, Precise says I believe in Santa Claus. What is he saying? What do you mean? What was he saying? Yeah, they hijacked the term left. But then again, why do we care about labels anyways? You believe in what you want.
It's got to that point, right? I mean, they've used racist so much that it's like, everybody's racist, that's racist. And the worst is, listen, I take a lot of offense with some parts of the Quran, because that there's reformers, there's guys I even follow on Twitter who's imams, and I think there's a lot of beautiful parts of the Quran, but there's these reformers, guys who are, you know, Islamic educators who want to do some reform. They say, listen, we're going to take this part out. They're the ones who have to walk around England in bulletproof vests and security guards, while the guys who openly recruit for ISIS are standing on the street corner. I'm just saying there's something fundamentally wrong with that. You know what I mean? The guys who say, listen, this is the parts of the Quran we could take out, or, you know, that. And so that's a shame that they have to walk around in a bulletproof vest. It just bothers me. But anyways, but that's, I just don't like extremism, and I don't like if you have grouped together, if they're not, and then once becoming pockets of them, they become, it's scary. It's really scary to see what's, like you said, what's going on in Germany, and that's scary. It's almost like a duplicate of what happened in 1930s, like you said. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, you have
history
the whole society is divided.
People are too stupid to remember it.
But then again, I don't know. I mean, you can start asking yourself, why was Germany in that state. Well, the economy collapsed after World War One, and I don't know, the people were trying to figure out how to fix the country, and so there were all these ideologies popping up here, communists, fascists.
And when you can get arrested for even like doing a salute, the Nazi salute in Germany, or saying Nazi or whatever. So they have so much guilt, and it's got to the point, like Douglas Murray says, enough's already. You know, that generation's pretty much almost everybody fought and was dead for the most part. You know, God rest their souls. You know, I mean, on both sides, everybody died. It was terrible, but it's like enough now. You guys stop punishing yourselves. So like they're so afraid to look like they're going to be racist. Now, this is the thing, but I think is kind of ironic. Here's a country so afraid to look anti-Semitic, they're letting in 1 million people who hate Jewish people. I just think that's a little ironic. That's all. That's kind of gigglish.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, I think.
It is, man. It's the propaganda as well that keeps reminding us of World War II and what happened. And that's because some of the movies that keep coming out every time.
Like Schindler's List and, yeah.
I didn't say that, but, yeah.
No, it's right. I believe you. Horrible things happen, but enough. But you know what I kind of think is weird? Weren't we just in the longest war in the history of this country? How come there's no, like, excellent movies about Fallujah? Because we had soldiers who had some good battles. I'm just saying, I know by this time and any other time in movie history, there'd have been 30, 40 war movies. I wonder why they don't want to do anything that makes, I wonder if that has anything with social justice warriors running Hollywood.
But also, you know I guess it's the legitimacy of the war. It wasn't. There was no real reason why the U.S. was in Iraq.
Listen, I know that I'm not proxy war and all that other shit. I'm just saying, as an entertainment value, you would have thought they would have jumped on, right? Anything to make a buck, they wouldn't care, right? If that was, I'm just saying, because the only reason why they haven't exploited that war is because of the social justice warriors. Because right now you can't make Muslims look bad. But if that wasn't the case, dude, you know Hollywood would be pumping out movies about it.
It's true. They did do it with Vietnam, though. They did do it with Vietnam. But by the way,
right.
You did have, like, what do you think about the hippie movement? You know, the peace and love. Was that really a threat to the establishment, especially to a country where the military is?
It was a threat in a way as they were spreading information amongst the young. See, the young before always towed the line. For the first time, they grew their hair long, and it was a scary thing, but drugs, and it was more like a hippie was more of the type person like, yeah, let's go protest, but yeah, let's go surfing first. So they weren't that violent. They definitely weren't like Antifa type stuff.
No, for sure.
They weren't as political, but yes, they did have an effect on the war, on the Vietnam War. Helped end it, not early, but pulled back aggression.
If you are the establishment, let's just call it that way, and you see people that no longer want to serve the military, which is your money-making scheme, right? That's kind of dangerous, no? Because then
absolutely, yep,
they don't want to join the war. They're not going to support your wars. You're not going to support anything that's military-related. And that was kind of dangerous. And then that's why, I mean, John Lennon dies, you know, by some wacko. Who else?
Mark Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, they started just hunting, like, putting their foot on top of, and that's where you get all the 80s, which is completely more violent in the movies and everything.
I'm telling you, people talk about the 90s.
The rap music.
When they used the child predator. That's when they started coining that. It was violent in the 80s. Crazy violent.
And you got rap music coming in with, like, and I'm not saying rap is necessarily violent, but I mean, those, I don't know. I heard there was a rumor that the government came up with rap, or they started affecting it, so it promoted violence. Because they saw what happens with the hippie movement.
I just know they've always kept black communities in one particular geographical area. They get them to vote Democrat, and they stay in one constant, poverty after poverty. And I'll tell you, I take colon cancer, idiot. You kneel for 16 unarmed guys. What a terrible, but not all were actually cop killings. The cops were at fault. But what about the thousands of kids who were dying in the street of Chicago? Doesn't that affect them? Doesn't that upset him? Why isn't he there taking a knee down in Chicago? You know what I mean? Like, to go where this shit needs, like you said, everything else is just propaganda. He doesn't give a fuck.
No.
It's sickening.
It's not part of the money-making scheme.
It isn't, exactly, because they can't fix it, dude, right? So what? You don't want to. You don't want to tie yourself to something you can't fix.
You can send a man to the moon. Even let's say they did it. Who knows? But you can't. I mean, the United States created so many inventions. I mean, and they can't fix a fucking city. I don't believe it.
You need military intervention at this point, without a doubt. If you really want to stop it, if you would seriously want to stop it, you need to send not fucking weekend warrior. You know.
Well, you need jobs and education. I mean,
you would have to send not to like police the street, but just to stay on the corners and while the regular police, and then you would have to do a martial law and go house by house and get all the guns. Seriously, that's what you would have to do, and then do warrants.
Then they're gonna fight with knives.
No, I know. Listen, I understand. I'm saying, but at least you would have less secondary victims. There's so many kids who are just in the park, little girls getting shot in the head.
The gang violence and stuff.
Right, that to
but
me,
I mean, long term,
that boils my blood. You see these little babies dying in the park because these fucking idiots don't want to get out and throw their hands.
Yeah. But anyways, we got really political here, man.
No, but dude, I'm very much in line with you. I'm same way with you on all that. I'm a libertarian, small government, stay out of my business. Don't fucking, and I'm open-minded to everything, and I hate oppression. You know, some people might say, "Oh, you know, like you said, if people hear the show, they think, oh, I'm a racist." Literally, no. When I say how bad it upsets me, I see a little, you know, black girl with smile and get her face in the news, and I'm like, it's just that's it. It's her little face right there in the news. And now it's next news cycle, and it's like that shit affects me. It's like, wow, where the fuck aren't people getting angry about this? I don't give a fuck about these gangbangers who were getting shot because they didn't want to fucking listen to the police. You know what I mean? I care about this little girl who just had her fucking life snuffed out because she had the audacity to be on a swing set. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry for ranting, dude.
That's okay, man. We should have done this talk on the other show, on the other channel, the Second Renaissance.
I ended up having a wake to go to that night. So I was gonna fuck.
Right, maybe we should end the show. It's been 3 hours now.
Brother.
All right, take care, man.
Hey, listen, thanks for having me on, dude. And no, man, I tell you, you'd be a good orator, dude. You could have fucking. I would have been carrying a torch for you. You had me all fired up.
Yeah, we'll do a Nuremberg march or something.
Listen, gentlemen, all you guys have a great night, man.
All right, man. See ya.
You be safe, all right, guys?
All right, take care, man.
You too. Bye.
So, Trap Media made it at the end. Trap, we're about to end this. So, thank you for coming, man.
Closing out. Yeah, shout out BDA Boxing. Shout out to Chat. Big Baby Miller, top 3 heavyweight in the world. Come out.
Peace out.
All right, man.
Peace.
See you guys. Everyone in the chat, thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time. We'll definitely do a Second Renaissance show so we can talk about politics and social issues without people complaining about us not talking about boxing. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black.
Oh, I forgot to change the song here. Damn it. We can't end this show until I put some fucking music. That's how it works. There you go, Nino Gaggy. I'm spinning that shit. DJ Ucho. Alright, guys. See ya.